say good evening to every one of you watching this program tonight. Again, my name is Prince Okoye Emezu. No matter where you're listening from, if you're in Nigeria, I want to say good evening or good night. And then there's some of us in the Europe and UK, this is night. And if you're listening from United States of America, I want to say good evening. If you're listening from Asia, this is your morning. I want to say good morning. I want you please to do something for me. I want you to share this video. I'm not here to say anything. Dr. Paul, I will be introducing Dr. Paul to every one of you. Some of you have watched him before. He was on NTA television some time ago. He has appeared on my program. This is the second time he's appearing on this program. And the only way we can get this message across is if you are able to share it. Don't judge this program by what you have heard from me. I just want you to share this program. Dr. Paul will be saying something. Dr. Paul is a PhD holder. He studied economics and business administration, and presently studying law, LLB, Aden University, London, UK. So he's well learned. He's the leader of Ndigbo Royal Heritage. Ndigbo Royal Heritage was formed sometime 2 years ago. It has a wider coverage virtually in every state of Nigeria. It was launched in Manchester sometime last year, Italy, Germany. So he will tell you about that program. So the reason why we are here today is not for any sentiment. If you look at what is happening in Ndigbo today, you look at the vacuum, you look at the silent, the deliberate indifference by our leaders, you ask yourself a question: where are we moving to? So a few days ago, I and Paul have a discussion, and we agreed to use this platform to share the messages. Right now, he's not in Nigeria, he's outside Nigeria. And he believes that the only way he can talk to Nigeria, especially the youth, is through this platform, through Facebook. So please, I want you to share this program, to share this video, please. Then if you don't like it, you can delete it. But I want you to share it so that many people can hear from Paul. Paul is a kind of bridge between the old and the young. He knows more than we know. And then he know some of the generation that are passing. Some time ago, he met with one for Rizu during his consultation. He has moved around Nigeria, talking to those who matters, both in Christendoms and in government and in politics and in business cycles. He has met people. He has asked questions concerning some of these agitations and what is happening in Ndigbo today. So please help me welcome Dr. Paul Okoye, but please don't forget to share this video. Dr. Paul, you're welcome to the platform. So I want to give you this platform. It's not an interview. It's just for you to use this platform and talk to Igbos worldwide, knowing that this video will get across. No matter where you're living in this world, this video will get to you. Thank you. You're welcome, Dr. Paul Okoye, PhD.
Thank you. Thank you, Prince. I want to first appreciate you. I want to first thank you for this opportunity, this privilege once again to address our people. Today, my name, as you have rightly said, is Dr. Paul Okoye. By His grace, I received this mandate 2019 to be precise. Actually, I'm the President General of Ndigbo Heritage Worldwide. Ndigbo Heritage is a group, an organization that predates me and many of us. At the end of the war, the gods of our land met Jupu and Onowu Bonin, and instructed that the war should end. That 50 years after the end of the war, the youth, between 1970 and that the 58th year, will come up and take over whatever that belongs to the Igbo people. So on that note, they stopped the war. And then in 1996, Ojukwu floated Ndi Igbo Heritage Worldwide, and the mandate of Ezigbo Bulubulu was accorded to him to carry this mandate. That mandate Ochichi Ndi Igbo was done precisely for Royal Heritage Project. And that was how this issue of Ndi Igbo Nnamdi started, because it was meant for the precise aim of uniting Ndi Igbo and taking it up from there to try to see whatever the Igbos have lost to gain it. Then I've been out of Africa for several years. I left Nigeria precisely in 1990, and I've been living in Europe. Tried by special grace of God to go through academics, I'm an author and the rest of them. And then I'm an activist, and I've been fighting a lot of battles in this part of the world. Ndigbo lately knows more of my story, because I've been engaged in struggle for the liberation of immigration in Italy, and that predates from between 1990 and 2016. The war lasted in 2016. And that was the first time I got home. And on my arrival to Nigeria, I was presented with this issue of taking up this mandate, and I vehemently said no, because first I was not prepared. Again, I've been away for a very long time. I could not expect myself going to accept a mandate to lead Ndi Igbo after staying 22 years outside home. So it was something, besides it's not part of my career, part of my project, or part of what I intend to do in life as an activist. I decided to go back and study law in 2017. I joined University of London and LLM University of London. Later I had to join other university. Those courses are ongoing because I wanted to, as an activist, that is the only shield we have. That's the only thing that prepared us for the greater job I had. So when they came up with the program of coming to take up the mandate to lead Ndi Igbo out of the doldrum, it was an agreement with my ambition or my prospects of my life, what I intend to do in life. And I said no. I said clearly no. A reception was prepared. That should be on the 13th of January 2017, and I left them. I left on the 10th without their knowledge. Everything was going. Onougbo was prepared to give me the mandate and rest, but I didn't come for that. That was what I was going. Now the pressure continued and continued. 2017, the Senate delegates came. 2018, the Senate delegates came, and then 2019, they insisted that I have no option than to accept the mandate, that they have done their consultations, and the God said that I have no other alternative than to come up and take this mandate. Probably if I do not take the mandate, that I may end up losing my life. So at that point, I was compelled to accept the mandate, and precisely on the 10th of August 2019, at Igbo, the mandate was handed over to me. But before accepting the mandate, because the mandate had a different undertone, if for men and things like that, and Ojukwu was carrying Ndi Igbo, the intention was to carry Ndi Igbo nature. But those are the things I was not used to doing. And I told them, President General of Ndigbo Heritage, that there should be a different approach to it. Probably because I've lived outside for a very long time, or I see things from a different dimension. So the way I can do it is if it's meant for Idozi and Igbo, because all of us know that Igbo is under total decay. I don't know how to explain, because each time I start thinking of Igbo, I become sad. I feel bad, because so things are so bad. We have the worst set of political leaders on earth. The worst set. There's nowhere on earth that you have political leaders that are better than what have the Igbo nation. Igbo is the only place that you see for years, decades, whenever a local government election, the government release the federal release the subvention every month, or how it's supposed to be. But when the money comes, two people will share it, put it in. I wonder what they are doing with the money, because I accept that people can still to feed, because there are no living cents. But I cannot understand why people choose still to be rich. I cannot understand why people choose still to be wealthy. Usually go ijeti ya na bank mdocha ule people are eating from dustbin. It is that bad in our place. So I told them now, mandate President General Ndigbo, he should be precisely Ijimana. But they said, okay, that is my idea of the project. Oh, well, it's good. So on that note, I accepted the mandate to present of Igbo heritage. And then immediately after that, I think it's something that I had to start from the scratch because, oh well, there was a structure, but it was in a different dimension because Ndigbo heritage were different organs. We have Igbo, Igbo, and the rest of them. But I decided to take it from in a different dimension. So what did I do? I started consulting because I didn't easy. And God made it possible that somehow by the 11th of November 2020, we formally landed because I had a World Press Conference at Enugu. And from there, we picked up from there. Because I was desperate not to do things the way other people did it. Because and onye chọrọ ikwe n'ibie ugwu esi n'Igbo nwere eze but Igbo nwere eze kama ya rapụla eze anyị ugwu because of probably the tradition or how we have messed with those things that made us thick or made us rich. Ndị Igbo na-azazi ọkwọta ekene eze mana akwụrọta ekene eze ọbụla akwụrọta ekene mana ọ bụrụ eze ka ọ bụ. However, what I did was to go into consultation because that's how it's supposed to be done. Ofu onye arashi obodo, ofu onye represent. So I went consultation to listen to the opinion mothers in Igbos, and I did see a lot of them. I started with Mbazurika Meshi, the last man standing, and then I went to Igbo Reach. He led me to Abia State. I met Igwe Mwapeke, who is the chairman of the traditional rulers of Abia State. I met Professor Gregory. I met Inosun of Inosun. I met bishops. I met the Archbishop of Onitsha and the one of. So we went into consultation, trying to talk to opinion molders in Igbo nation to know what they think, to get the opinion because Ofonya are massive. And then the information or idea or suggestion I gathered from them, all of them points to the fact that those things. So if I will only know I say nani about drama, I say nani with very bad political leadership. But the point is that I wouldn't know whether what they do or they don't know how to approach it. Because someone on Igbo say the only thing I know Igbo nobody asks you where is your store. If you're where is your wife. I mean, the only important thing is that you go home with money. The great syndrome. This is part of the greatest problem we have in Igbo nation. Our God now becomes money. Because the only thing I know, that's why you can see now, if Oka, even though Oka, Keta, onye zuori gbama olwa n'ụka ochiriki shie fada analu obuna elu n'ebe na-eme baza elu n'obodo somebody ama no a proclaimed criminal eshie nyeze obula eze obodo enwero part of an Igbo ifo anara azaza azo all this in very few mana eze bụ inherited it. So you see arrogance and you see when the moto neduva or their entourage can get president in Igbo. So and you look at all these things, you ask yourself, where are we going? Because there's no loan even for job, it means that it's not bad. We copy foolishly. Everything about us is bad because we no longer have respect or appreciate who we are. We rub creams to make ourselves look different. So, Igbo is not comfortable with the situation. What we do not understand then, or what I was not able to understand is, why is nobody doing anything? Is it impossible to change the political leadership we have in Igbo? No. It's that we have not even done anything to change them. We have not taken the right approach to change them. And we are saying that none of them are involved in this game because only complain about the national action. The complaint one about the election, but it was an election and Igbo can number and you have an election and number of the Kamada. Ije akwana line ebenye tunye pta wonyake na egg 1000 naira. O twice an election on Igbo. Ada many election on your baseball model. Ada many election cast catching on your catching you but Igbo. Now, when you have sold your conscience for a plate of rice, because 1,000 naira can only buy a plate of rice, what do you expect from that person? And what do you church Ndigbo do qualify the church? Or Mr. 8 or Mr. Ibi, or no Jego Golu. things are so bad. No one no in position in Nigeria, precisely now speaking about Nigeria. No one no position in Nigeria, they not pay money to get it. There's no minister that didn't pay money. There's no director general that did not pay money to be in the post he is. So when we sit now and complain, I think that part of the thing we have to do is to look inwardly. And you are right, because when I complain about the president in Nigeria or governor in China, only in a position governor, or no worst. Any person that is complaining because he becomes a way to get there. And when he gets there, it becomes worse than the Nobel. That's why we recycle leadership. Only by now, they call worse than the former person. We had a Obasanjo who were complaining. Obasanjo had good luck. He's the worst president. Now Buhari is the worst thing that ever happened to us as the people. So there are no living sense. No, we have people that we are going to rule ourselves. So, in looking at all these things, we reach the consensus and understanding that Ndigbo has to be moved forward. Then we have a lot of programs that is outlined for this year, because the aim is to try to bring the Ndigbo together to be able to forge a common front, because there's no way we can achieve anything without minimum unity. All of you are aware that before the war, Ndigbo were properly positioned in Nigeria. And this is why I've decided to address Igbo Nation today. And I want to thank Prince Mezu for giving me this opportunity to address the Igbo Nation. And in this address, I want to take you a little back to the memory lane before I come to tell you the state of nation. Because the state of Igbo Nation is so bad. We are living in chaos. Things are so bad. And we are the architect of our own problems. That is basically why I want to address you. And I'm choosing this media because, you see, the youths are more prone to the social media. So why I came to social media, the problem is because the youth, the future, you are the worst off, because maybe I want to wife to a little thing in Africa or in Nigeria. I was the phone for. Mgbe anyị gụsịrị akwụkwọ egosi ka ga-afọ ebe anyị ga-eche ọrụ, ma nkịta a na-ekuziri okwu onye gosi akwụkwọ chọbọl na-egosi akwụkwọ ihe chọfịfị ga-eme. Ọ bụrụ na anyị chọta anyị zuoro, ọ bụrụ zuoro ije na yahu, because o nwere n'ife bụ alụ n'ala Igbo. Ezigbo mmadụ adịghịzi. There's no pride for being a good man. There's no honor for being a good man. There's no pride for him informer. There's no honor for him informer. People now have to sell their land to travel to Europe. In obodo Igbo, ndị na-abanye ụgbọ kaba cross Red Sea wee banye Europe, ụgbọba capside, all of them died. The rest said still enter the ship. That means our life is worthless. We no longer have value, even for the life that God has given us. So things are so bad. And considering the recent episode, recent situations, it becomes necessary, because nobody is saying anything. Unless is not talking. I mean, all the Igbo organizations are not talking. Nobody. We sit and watch Igbo Nation move to a point of no return. And I'm convinced that history will not take exuberance of a willful snow formation. So I did intend to say it, at least. And I wouldn't be part of it. I should have said. So before I go into this address, I want to take us a little back to the memory lane, because there are certain things that the youth need to know. And when they know that, they will be more balanced to take their decisions, or they'll be more balanced to know where I'm coming from. Now, I want you to remember, I've said in one of my discussions that there are two ideologies in Nigeria. Ideology of Nnamdi Igbo and ideology of Ojukwu. Although the seat I'm sitting on is the seat that was, the mandate was given directly to Ojukwu. So I'm sitting on the seat that Emeka Ojukwu sat. But I have a little disagreement with his approach or with the war we fought. Now, before that war, who is the Igbo man? I will give you people a directive, because some of the things I say are things anybody can do, anybody can find out, because it takes a little bit of research, a little bit of concentration to get to the root of what I'm saying, because they are not strange. They are in the archives. There are archives in Nigeria, and there are a little people that can still give you the right history about Nigeria. Now, I want every Igbo man to remember that before the war, Nigeria was in our hand. Nigeria was in the hand of the Igbo man, because 60% of the Nigerian civil servants are Ndi Igbo. 70% of Nigerian director generals are Ndi Igbo. 67% of railway workers, Ndi Igbo. Almost all the important positions in Nigeria, Ndi Igbo. Now, I want you to remember also that 40 of the senior military officers in Nigeria, Ndi Igbo. So Nigeria was completely in the hand of the Igbo man. We messed it. Because if we don't accept this truth to be self-evident, a man know what I believe Ndigbo as well. Ndigbo sunana mara bembi no mafia ara mwebo na nakoshara. And then people react differently to problems. Today, I want us to think strategically, discuss strategically. I want room for sentiments. People's lives are at stake, so there's no room for sentiments. We have to be objective. We have to address the facts that they are. We have to think strategically. You are my brother, you are my sister. It's not Egu you like me or you hate me. We are discussing the future of the Igbo nation, the future of the youth. That's why I'm starting from this dimension. Now, I want you to remember that the first university in Nigeria was University College Ibadan. 20 years later, we have the university at Umuahia. But the Igbo nation have been able to catch up with the Yoruba people that started before us. And we had already overtaken them. Because at the time of the war, Nigeria was in our hand. The richest African was an Igbo man. Now, what happened? This is this is the beginning of our problem. And I want anybody to quote me wrong if there's another research or another record that's different from what I'm giving you today. Now, what happened? A man from Monisha, Emmanuel Fajuna, decided to call a coup, organize a coup. Now, the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, does the coup. And I want to correct this impression here. When people say a ceremonial president, there's not a ceremonial president. The president is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces of everywhere on earth. The Queen is the leader of the government of UK. The president is always above the prime minister everywhere on earth. He takes salute. He's the ceremonial person. He can, if he does not sign any law into power, that law does not go into execution, does not become a law. So I want people to remove, I want to correct the impression that Zik was, there's such like ceremonial president. Zik was the president of Nigeria. Tababla was the prime minister. So the president was from Monisha. Another man from Monisha decided to call a coup. And what did he do? The fallout of that coup was that 27 military officers and all the senior political officers in the north were killed. That was an error. Yes, I accept that we have lived above that. But we have to understand that that is the beginning of the problem we have in Nigeria. Because before then, Nigeria was a very peaceful place. I want you to go and research. The first mayor of Enugu was a Fulani man. The second election, NCNC refused to give him a mandate. He contested as a single candidate with under no political platform, and he won. He was a Fulani. In Enugu, the first mayor. So Nigeria was a very peaceful place. We know how tribals entered Nigeria. Zik won as leader in the Western House of Assembly. And Awolowo pushed him out of that position. That's how tribals came into Nigerian politics. So these are facts that anybody can go and research. You have to start reading books. Chinua Achebe had his account. On There Was a Country. There was another book he wrote, The Trouble with Nigeria. There are certain books that every Nigerian should read to know what happened in Nigeria and how we got to where we are. There's another book every Nigerian should read, Diplomatic Sojourn. Diplomatic Sojourn was written by Joseph Ngaba. It should be the best foreign minister we have had in Nigeria. Now, this is how we started. Now, that coup played the spoilers game. In that coup, what existed in Nigeria died. A lot of things followed. What are the other things that followed? I want you to listen to this history. Now, it is not written anywhere in history that people become president except through a coup or through election. Now, after the coup, and all the northern political and military officers were killed, after that coup, the only senior officer from the north was Lieutenant Colonel Gowon. Gowon was not killed because Gowon was outside Assam Force, where he was attending to a military course. He arrived from the military training a day after the coup. That was why he was not killed. Now remember that coup, before the coup, all the senior military officers were from the east. The commander-in-chief was from the east. The chief of army staff was from the east. their lives were spared. So we have to accept that there was an error. That coup was an error. Now, after that coup, the president of the Senate, put a call across to Zit, who was away, and told him that there was a coup, that he intended to hand power to Umonakwa Agüironsi. And Agüironsi accepted, and Zit gave his nods. And what happened? Nwafori put a call across to Umonakwa Agüironsi. Agüironsi came up. There was a ceremony, and Agüironsi became the president of Nigeria. That is how Agüironsi became the president of Nigeria. There's no history on earth where you can say that people become presidents through telephone call. But that's not the aim of this report. That's not the aim of this address. I want to give you these few important information so that you know where you're going from. Because if you don't know where you're coming from, you won't know where you're going to. Now, Agüironsi, as the president of Nigeria, committed a few errors. What are the few errors? The people that organized that coup, none of them was tried. They were not tried. All of them were at Lagos Garrison Command, receiving their pay. They were receiving their salaries. These are people that organized a coup that killed all the prominent senior officers in Nigeria, political and military. They were not tried. They were living at Lagos Garrison Command. They were receiving their salaries. That's wrong. Now, if you tell me that the coup was not Igbo coup, I want to ask you, all those that organized that coup, including the only Yoruba that was among the coup plotters, all of them fought on the side of Biafra during the war. All of them. Nzog fought on the side of Biafra. He died fighting for Biafra. All of them. So there's no way we can say that there's something did not go wrong. There's no way we can say that there was no manipulation. I'm not saying that the present generation should be crucified for that, but we have to understand what happened in the first place. Now, what was next thing that happened? Umonakwa Agüironsi called, he's still alive, Professor Ben Nwabeze. And Ben Nwabeze prepared constitution for him. He enacted a decree and dissolved the confederal status. Before Umonakwa Agüironsi, Nigeria had a confederal status. We were a confederal constitution. The North, we are doing their thing. The West, we are doing their thing. The Middle, we had 4 regions. We pulled it down. So what we are asking for today, we have to first accept that it existed. And we got it through referendum. That was a referendum before Nigeria became a confederal status. And the two people, Umonakwa Agüironsi, the then president and commander-in-chief of the Nigerian Armed Forces, and Professor Ben Nwabeze, who is still alive, the leader of G21, wrote the constitution. And it was pulled down. So when we want to start today and say we want to tell Nigerians that confederation, first let us accept that what existed, we pulled it down, we destroyed it, we put Nigeria to where they are today. Then the war was fought. I've said severally that the war was fought in error because it could have been avoided. I met with Mbazulika and Meshi, and they told me that the war was fought in error, that they pleaded with Ojukwu not to fight the war. All of them were put in prison. Mbazulika was put in prison. Ojukwu was in prison. Not prison, physical prison, but they were secluded from moving around. They were restricted to their houses, so were restricted to 1 meter. So Ojukwu was restricted to 10 kilometers radius from his house. Mbadiwo was in prison in Calabar. So there were people that, as I'm saying today, that said, let there be no war, that the problem could be solved. They wanted to make peace. Now, incidentally, Umonakwa Agüironsi was killed. That was the counter coup. The counter coup was in error too, because Murtala Muhammad organized that and they went into rampage and started killing the Igbo people like they are killing rats. They go to their house and bring them out and kill them. There was a manhunt. If you are an Igbo, you should be killed. And Gowon did not do anything. Gowon didn't stop it. He didn't make any attempt to stop the manhunt. And the Igbos were slaughtered. Yes.
Sir, before we continue, I want to plead with everybody watching this program to please share this thing. There are many things we can learn. When we started, I told you, please don't judge it by my position. This is a PhD holder, currently studying law. He's well learned. He's a bridge between the old and the new. Share this video. It's going to help some of us. I will go through it again because there are things I'm learning that I don't know before. And some of these histories are not folk tales. They are things that really happened. They are not myths. They are historical. They are our history. You got to learn them. So please share this for especially the young ones. He chooses this platform in order to get to the young ones. Don't watch it with sentiment and don't be biased. Just listen to it and please share it. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir. Could you please continue, sir?
Thank you. So, because of their atrocity, the mistakes, the errors, tremendous errors. Jeffler Danjuma, probably killing in error. Because Danjuma today is crying. Was the first to come out and say that Fulanis are killing, Fulanis are fighting. But Danjuma killed Aguirre. That was a great betrayal because he was his most trusted ally. Was he aide camp? Was his personal assistant. And Umunakwe died. And the trouble continued. We had the pogrom. We had a series of problems that led us to the war. And we fought a war that could have been avoided. Why was that war a stupid one? We started war as militia. If you understand what it means to start war or fight war as militia, that's what I'm trying to say. As militia, that means we had matches. So we used matches to go and chase people with guns. And when we shoot them and kill them, we now recover their gun. That's how we started the war. And I'm saying a very simple thing, that it is wrong. Considering that Ojukwu was the first quartermaster general of Nigerian army, he's aware. He knows clearly how prepared. He knows clearly that we cannot fight a war. He knows that we're not in a position to fight a war. We had nothing to fight the war. We had no ammunition. Now, there's no war. You see, there are certain things that has to be clear here. Because we fought a war before. That is why I'm addressing the Igbo nation today. Because war is looming. Another bloodshed is coming. And I want to say, Ndigbo say, or we fought a war before. We were more prepared. We had more people. But I will come to that because there are certain things you must have to know. If you know them, it will help you in your judgment. Now, Ojukwu, who declared that war? People say that he was pressed to declare the war. And I've asked a few questions. I want to repeat one of them here. Now, the Hausa people killed 100 million people. Good. 100,000 people. Good. How many did we lose during the war? 2.5 million. So I prefer to lose 100,000 people than to lose 2.5 million people. And we did not lose only 2.5 million. We lost everything we had. The history of Nigeria was written. So I'm saying that you don't fight war out of sentiment. Now, what are the issues that we are supposed to be considered? Are there ammunition along the road? I've said this and I'm repeating it here. Ammunition is sold, is one of the most regulated things on earth. So you don't buy ammunition if you don't have a government that is sponsoring you, or you don't, because ammunition has to be sold by government, or you buy in the black market or buy to repair. So we had no possibility of getting arms. That is why that war could not have been declared in the first place. Through the effort of Zeke, we got a few countries that supported us. That was Tanzania and Ethiopia, Empress Last Hour of Ethiopia, who made a frantic effort to see if there could be peace or if we could return to the Igbo nation or Nigeria. They didn't succeed, then we went to Ghana. There was an accord. And when Gowon came back, the Northern Airlines told him that he had made a mistake. There was nothing special in that accord. The only thing special is the resettlement of the dislodged refugees. That's the only unique thing. When people chat Aburi Accord, what is an Aburi Accord? On Aburi we stand. Aburi said that today there are no refugees. Aburi said those people that have been dislodged because at the verge of the crisis when the pogrom started, the Igbos did not left, and as they were coming, the soldiers did not come with their gun. So their part of the agreement was to build refugee camps for them. When one came back, they said, no, we can't rehabilitate them, we can't do refugee camps for them. What's the big deal about that? So when we say on our brain we stand, that for me, that's semanticism. We have to face facts clearly as they are. We don't go to war because we were provoked. You call it to our logody, Kukubri, Obulia, Nogodia. What they tell to boy FMN, and we have to be wise. Eba kandocha kandi kajikandoji ifemalo. I the men of Konobi will get provoked. But Oyocha do what he's supposed to do. He approach and take care of his interests always. Igbo man, the only Bonya Nigeria, the men of Konobi. Konobi is rubbish. You don't allow your heart to rule your brain. When it comes to issue of human life, your brain to rule your heart. That's what we are lacking today. Sentiments. Obele Ndi Igbo, Ndi Igbo ne kebu, Ndi Fulani Igbo. Onye man Ndi Fulani Igbo, maybe you know what I mean. But you know everywhere, you have killed Igbo people, you have marched everywhere, and I've come here today to warn you, but I will go to that part. So why I give you a little of this history is that if you don't know these things, you will not know how to take these decisions. And there is something I want to tell you now before I go into my address or reason why I called you. Because I've said in every situation that Igbo Samaro who their enemy is. Enemy Ndigbo on the Hausa. Now let me tell you why. Now, during the war, how did we lose that war? Ojukwu na Awolowo will reach the agreement. Awolowo Koje from Oduduwa State. Awolowo Nata go and meet Menya deputy chairman of the Security Council. So abandon that agreement and Ojukwu reached when he was in prison. Because Awolowo was already in prison at Calabar before the war broke out. Now, Kifa Awolowo as the Minister of Finance and the Deputy Chairman, first Awolowo able to change the money. And don't change the money to put the Igbos in difficulty. Ojukwu confessed and change the Lego Nigeria can lose the war. And go and confirmed. Niamorna and change Jego. Awolowo himself said it before he died. Now, Awolowo Niagbal go on and exchange again day to the exchange that money. So it was a war tactics designed and executed by Awolowo against the Igbos. Now, that was the first blow. The second thing Awolowo made during the war, blockade. If you go and read the book of Chinua Achebe, there was a country. That was the crisis because Achebe accused him. And remember during the war, that is what we are lacking today. Because when I come to that part of the issue of the struggle, there's no one man that can deliver a nation. If there's anything good with the struggle that is ongoing, the intelligentsia should be involved because I don't know about of sentiment. Then the Ojukwu was organizing the war, moving this crisis, fighting this battle, but the intelligentsias were moving. Chinua Achebe was the person that was mandated to go to Canada. Zeke was in UK, and Mwaforis was in the US. So the intelligentsia were moving. Obodo ọbụla na-enwe crisis, ụmụaka na-anụ ọgụ, ụmụ ikorobịa na-anụ na-egbu mmadụ, ndị ikenye na-akpa elu. Diplomacy is done by the elders. And when people from California about Trump, so you can't fight war without involving the intelligentsia. You can't properly handle it. You don't know the elders. They go to the elders. They don't go to priests. The priest cannot do the job of the work of the elders. So we have to get this first very, very clear. Now, the third thing Awolowo made, the first one I've told you was Ishe Njego. The second one was blockade. What was the blockade? Kwashoko Ndigbo. That's Awolowo. Now, the third thing Awolowo made Ndigbo after the war, Onyonyo like 25 pounds. Most of you must have heard the story, but I want to emphasize them again. Now, to make it very brief, that is how we lost the war. So we lost the war because of the tactics, because of the strategic approach of Awolowo. Not because of Nabalan, we had no chance of winning the war. But there was so much bloodshed because of all this stuff. Now, the second thing that happened was that when we came back from the war, I want you to remember that the first civilian government in Nigeria, Bonya Hausa, Alhaji Usman Shehu Shagari. How did Alhaji Shehu Shagari become the president of Nigeria? Zik had no option, they had no opportunity then, because Zik had already retired to only heaven. Nobody brought him to politics because nobody did not see who to use against Shagari and Awolowo. Awolowo was of Action Congress and we have NPP, NPN, and the Western Party. I remember the name. Sorry. Now, after that election, nobody won because the constitution then put that to win an election in Nigeria, 2/3 of 19 states. So when they went 2/3 of 19 states, and the law said that nobody when you win an election, they should go to electoral college, but they don't want to go to electoral college because they knew that if they had gone to electoral college, I would have won. And they didn't want Awo to win. So they decided to go to court. Now look at the scene. The president of Nigeria then was Matu Aremu Oliko Obasanjo. Obasanjo was the president. Now, who was the Chief Justice of Nigeria? Fatanda Atai Williams, who was a Yoruba man. Who was the Awolowo's lawyer? G.O.K. Ajayi son, was a Yoruba man. Prince Bola Ajibola was the lawyer of Alhaji Usman Shehu Shagari. Professor Yowole was the mathematician that was brought in to come and solve the arithmetic. What is the 2/3 of 19 states? The also Fonya Battalion Abro Yoruba, it was also Professor Shikiobi. So they decoded the mathematics and told us that 2/3 of 19 states is 12.9.99999, and that's how Shagari became the president of Nigeria. But the point I'm trying to make is that they were all Yorubas. First, the Yorubas made us to lose the war. Awolowo made us to lose that war. The second point is that the Yorubas gave the first political power to the North under Matun Aremu Obasanjo in 1979. That was how Shehu Alhaji Ali Usman Shehu Shagari became the president of Nigeria. The second person in Nigeria, in Kamenzen because it's a recent history, was Umaru Yar'Adua, which was a kind of compensation to Shehu Bruno because his senior brother, who died in prison under Abacha, was the Shehu Bruno. Usman Shehu Musa Yar'Adua should be one of the most powerful men that live in that. He is the owner of the PDM. The PDM was the political movement that made Shagari president. He made MKO Abiola the PDM. The person that's in charge of PDM today is the former vice president under Obasanjo. So when he died in the prison, they had to be compensated, and the consensus was reached. So the second president of Nigeria from the northern extraction was Yar'Adua, Usman Yar'Adua. And Yar'Adua was made president by the Yoruba man. Now, the third president who is from northern extraction is who? Political president I'm talking about, political, is Buhari. Buhari contested the first time, second time, third time, and fourth time. On the third time, he decided not to come back in because he was exhausted and he was becoming old. But something happened. God, in his intrinsic, decided to hand over the power to the East. That was where Goodluck Ebele Jonathan came in. From nowhere, he became the president of Nigeria. From nowhere. He was not prepared for that. Those are the things I have against the program or discussion for Igbo president 2023. Because they have another Goodluck who have not solved any problem. Goodluck was not prepared, so he didn't know how to use power. It's not enough to get power. It's important to know how to use power. It's more important to know how to use power than to get power. So Goodluck had the power. He didn't know what power means. He didn't know how to use it. And Yorubas needed that power back. Because the battle is always between the Yoruba man and the Igbo man. The heart of Nigeria today is the hand of the Yoruba man. Go and look at all the director generals. Look at Minister A. Minister is one man in the ministry who is in charge of that ministry. When you make a law, somebody has to execute that law. The economy of Nigeria is the hand of the Yoruba man. Now, after Ka and Ndi Igbo, the people that took over those things were the Yoruba people. That was immediately after we came back to the world. Now, the first indigenization decree was done by the Yoruba man. Ndi Igbo Shogunata, so the Yoruba bought over Nigeria. The second indigenization decree was done by Yoruba man still, Obasanjo. And they bought what was remaining, the remnants of what the Yoruba people already bought. Obasanjo did third privatization. That is why the 10 most richest Nigerians are Yoruba. The 10 most richest Nigerian families are Yoruba families. The only people that you remove is the two families from Igbo family and the Igbo Nnamdi family. If you remove the Igbo family and the Igbo Nnamdi family, the 10 richest families in Nigeria are Yorubas. And the 10 richest Nigerians, if you remove Dangote, the other 10 they are Yorubas. So Nigeria is in the hand of the Yoruba man. I'm discussing statistics, I'm discussing things that you can go and find out. It takes you a little research to get these points. Now, the South is put together, produces less than what one state in the West produces. Ogun State produces 79 billion to GDP, gross domestic product of Nigeria. The first state from the Southeast produces 56 billion. So in the advent of war, in the advent of weak Nigeria, the loser are the Igbos. If you live in a glass house, you don't throw stone. We have nothing. There is nothing in the eastern part of Nigeria. It's empty. It is empty. Politically, economically, there's nothing in the east. So this campaign, I don't know on what it is based. I'm discussing statistical data. Go and do your research. Lagos alone produces 230 billion to gross domestic product of Nigeria. Lagos. After Lagos can come in. So I don't understand. I mean, only a local government in Lagos is better than the whole of Eastern region. So the Igbo man today should look for a way, because I made the power, the magnanimity to get power. Now, one Yoruba man took power away from good luck Jonathan. He could not have done that if Jonathan knew what power means. Well, Jonathan does not know what power means. The Yorubas want their power back, because incidentally, the people that they are fighting with were coming up. Now, we forget that when Yoruba made Buhari president, because the first time they gave him a pastor, the second time they gave him a pastor, and they told us that Buhari is a saint, he's not a fundamentalist, he didn't take Nigeria to OIC. God, I'm fine. That's not my problem. Now, they gave me a pastor to clean him, to convince the world that he's a very moderate person. But that's not my problem. My problem is that in history of mankind, I can't remember one person, 4 ministers. No, most important minister in Nigeria, one person who is a lawyer. Factuala was the Minister of Mines and Power, Housing, and then Works. Now, when you remove these 4 ministers, Nigeria is empty. In the heart of the West. I don't want to go into a few little things that you can see for yourself. The first metro line is coming up in Lagos, not in the north. So, you have built the West. You built the north, because Igbos are building Abuja. You have not built the east. So it's not time for another madness. It's not time. It's not time. Now listen to me, Ndigbo. It is important that you take this point home. I've gone before soon now. And I want you to understand that will be a very strategic error for any reason on earth to accept crisis in the Igbo nation today. Because the only thing that comes with crisis is destruction. We will go back 20 years behind. If we make that mistake, we may never come out of it again. Now, if for any reason, no way anybody born you was no way problem with the Fulani people, you will find a way to fight the Fulani. I want you to remember that the war we fought during that war, even the Bini Amorana, because of Willow Bini, the war was fought Nanibo, the war front was Nanibo. So, atwa bomb, omi setakete or Nanibo. Even Ndigbo to a bomb, omi setakete or Nanibo. That was a very fatal error. We cannot afford any other war Nanibo again. I want this fact to be very clear. Now, there are certain things we have to accept as given. We cannot expect Igbo Nnamdi, the information reaching me said that 21 was killed, were killed in Enugu State. I'm aware of Ndigbo Nnamdi and they continue towards Umule and Aguilera. Then Owerri was invaded, military barracks, prisons. Now there's something first that I want to enable man to listen to, that is listen to me now to know and understand. First thing I want you to listen to know and understand is this. And what is that about government? Government is when a group of people come together and agree. They accept a rule and regulation by saying this is what we do, and they say yes. As far as they obey that rule as government, when they say no, when the whole people say no to the rules and regulations, there's no government, government fails. So when you kill a police, you are daring the government. You are daring the might of the government. There are two powers on earth, the power of God and the power of government. Now, when you kill military, when you kill soldiers, you expect a revenge. We have committed a grievous error, a fatal error, a grievous mistake. You don't kill soldiers. You don't kill the police, not to think of soldiers. The consequences could be fatal. Now we have to accept simple truth that there's a way authorities behave. I've told you, and I want to repeat it here again. Although one single person was able to take power away from Goodluck, a still president, president. We have had power in Nigeria twice. And those time we had power, we messed it. We had power under Goodluck. Who told you we can have it again? Goodluck could say but every important position under Goodluck was not Ndigbo. But we could not build the Niger Bridge. We have had power. Under it, we had power. An Onisha man organized a coup against an Onisha man. Makaziki Bonyo Onisha. Ifajuna Bonyo Onisha. That's our problem. Lack of unity, lack of solidarity, lack of love. Zeke was supposed to have ruled Nigeria the second time. The first time, one opportunity. Second time, one opportunity. He did not rule because nobody pulled him down. The second time, one opportunity in Nigeria was on the Okoye, G21, Okoye G21 that pulled down Basha. The coast was clear for him to rule. And Igbo man was used to pull him down. Nobody was used to pull down Okoye. Sorry, Shuba the Okoye was used to pull down Zeke when he was supposed to rule. Then Mobi was used to pull down Okoye. Now, the most recent one, I've said 1 million times. And then what was such soft spot for P2B. But when he contested under Atiku Abubakar, there was something I was saying initially. I was saying the person that was in charge of the PDM, Atiku Abubakar, is holding the political mandate that Usman Shehu Yar'Adua built, the political mandate called PDM, which was the power that made Abiola president, the power that made Obasanjo president, the PDM. When suddenly P2B contested, because Ndi Igbo politics, don't know who don't know what politics is. Let us accept this fact. My politics, I feel ashamed as an Igbo man. Now, less than 1% of Nigerian population, in the Fulani, less than 1% of Nigerian population are in charge of power and are about to destroy the Igbo nation. That we cannot restore power from less than 1% with all the money bags we have in Ndigbo. We cannot come together. Our problem is lack of unity. Our problem is not ours, our problem is the Yoruba. We are the architects of our own problem. And the way we are going leads to Golgotha. Now, certain things must be clear to every sons and daughter of Igbo nation listening to me this evening. Now, whenever you are fighting with Nigeria, you are fighting UK. And whether a military pact which you cannot break, you are fighting UK. And whenever you are fighting UK, you are fighting NATO. NATO was the military pact that was formed after the Second World War. Ndi Igbo had the power to fight Nigeria, not to think of fighting their allies. Before you can think of war, you have to think of allies. You have to think of ammunition. You can't win war on social media. You cannot win war by sentiment. These buckling warmongers who are a peaceful people will have no opportunity. We have no chances. So it will be madness. It will be stupid for any man, for any woman to presume, or through the social media, not even a mainstream media, to tell you that he has the power, that he has the capacity to fight a war. Whoever that wants to fight a war today, the war front must stop the Igbo nation. Now, when you adopt the guerrilla warfare, you are wicked. Guerrilla warfare means you launch a sudden attack. When you launch a sudden attack, you kill the soldiers and filter into the Igbo nation. You use us as shield. Use the Igbo nation as human shield. When the enemies come, they don't find you. So they start sweeping the grass. The blood does not have brain. The blood does not drizzle. It can fall into an old woman. An innocent shooting could be a priest. You cannot invade somebody's country and talk about territorial integrity. You can't kill somebody's family and talk about genocide. You can't take somebody's wife and talk about human rights. You can't kill soldiers and be talking about peace. We have to accept this truth that a fatal error has been committed. We have yet once again made another grievous mistake. Now I want to talk to you that tell me that Fulani headmen are killing Ndigbo. And you justify the killing of the police and killing of the army with Fulani headsmen killing Ndigbo. I want you to I want to address you. Amotekun started in the Yoruba land first. They did not kill one soldier. Amotekun did not kill one policeman. Amotekun did not kill one soldier. How can you tell me that you kill soldiers because Fulani herdsmen are killing Ndigbo? Where is the connection between Fulani herdsmen and the soldiers? I want to tell you in very simple terms. Because of Fulani herdsmen, Goodluck lost the election. Killing started in the north. Killing everyone in Igbo. It's been going on in the north ages. And with some cities in the north that have been totally and completely deserted. So why do you tell me that Fulani herdsmen are killing Ndigbo? You have to tell me that there is security in Nigeria. So why do you make a national problem your personal problem? How daft are you? How can you be so ignorant to the point of now somebody in Nigeria? You push somebody in Nigeria, bully any son if Chibok guess of Ndigbo. Chibok guess, Chibok ordinary cordino where. Chibok or Nabakod. Chibok the Nugausa. 2 days ago, they arrested students in Kaduna. Maybe they're still in the bush. You cannot make mistake to travel between Abuja and Kaduna by road. It's sure you cannot come back. Muto give me between Lokoja and Dokene and the night, you're already dead man. You are dead. Not only make it acadendo. Man, I am such level of insecurity in Ndigbo. So why do you want to tell me that the reason of Ubundi police, Ubundi army, Makadiflani herdsmen are fighting in Ndigbo? They killed a daughter of a most prominent Yoruba man. For God's sake, if you have a problem with the Fulani herdsmen, you go and fight Fulani herdsmen. Why create problem for Ndigbo? Kevin Eburundi soldier, Kevin Eburundi army. If you have a problem with the government, go to the government. Remove Buhari from power. Even the soldiers you are killing are breadwinners of their family. The police you are killing are breadwinners of their family. Why can any person in 2021 support killing of any type? How can a normal person, a somewhere ordered man, support killing of any type, of a Yoruba, of Hausa, of Fulani? Killing is killing. It pains. What has come over us? 50 years ago, we fought a war, and we are still coming out of that war. We are still coming out of that war. We have not totally and completely recovered. And for sentiments, we allow our heart to rule our brain. We want to plunge the Igbo nation into another crisis. There's unemployment. I traveled from Onitsha to Enugu. The only signboard I saw was pure water and the crusade ground. Ndị na-achị ala Igbo bụ crusade men. Fada Mbaka na-ebube mmụọ nsọ ọba na-ebube na-eme n'ala Igbo. Because our God is prayer. A ga-ekwu nke one yala ibie. Onye arụ na nwoje ekpere. Our wisdom is now consumed. Now, our conscience, our wisdom is consumed in ignorance and confidence. Where do we start from? All the mega churches in Nigeria, where the Christians in Nigeria, Ndigbo. Every root, every corner, Ndigbo, there's a church there. Where do we start? And today, we want to make the mistake. Now, I want to ask you a very simple question. And answer me if you are intelligent. This don't take it as an insult, please. Now, Ndigbo say na Bana Ndi Hausa, Ndi Fulani will a problem. Now, instead of fighting Fulani, you go and provoke war. Fulani will now hide behind federal government and come and destroy Ndigbo beyond redemption. You devise a means to fight Fulani. You don't fight war with Nigeria. The Nigerian soldier comprises of Igbo, Hausa, Yoruba, Bini, Ijo, Edo, everybody. And what you have done, you have confronted Nigerian government. So Nigerian government will come and fight you, and they're coming to fight with their allies. Don't you understand that? Is that too difficult to understand? And you stay in your house and tell me and try to tell me that you are right. You try to justify that. The Fulani herdsmen are in the bush. Go to the bush and kill them. We said there's no point killing them and put them in social media. Ndị Mutukumare and Bagwandia, the Fulani herdsmen no more than vegetarian on social media. What is the campaign for? What is the campaign for? Where is the train taking us? Where is the train leading us to? How far do we think we can go with this madness? Ndị Igbo si na man arebuzo azuko na ebe. Onye mara asụ, ya sụọ n'ikwe. Onye na mara asụ, ọ sụọ n'ala. Ndị Igbo mụrụ m. The time to think with our brain is now. We must no longer allow our heart to rule our brain. I want to be very clear and very fact. I want to be very precise about this. We must eschew sentiment. This is no time for sentiment. It's no longer time for my brothers, my sisters. It's time for objectivity. It's time to address the Igbo interest. It's time to think about what puts us together, what unifies us. It's time for us to be able to look ourselves eyeball to eyeball and tell ourselves the story, the truth, to tell ourselves that we cannot afford another war. Another crisis will destroy the Igbo nation beyond redemption. The people are suffering. There are no doctors in our place. We don't have ordinary ambulance. Our hospitals are completely non-existent. It's not time. It's not time. We must reject this temptation. I call on all the Igbo sons and daughters today to say no to violence of any sort. We are a peaceful people. We must say no to this blood-sucking people, to these ball-walking mongers. It's not our culture. It's not our orientation. The elders of Ndigbo, the kings, the religious leaders, to come out, speak out. Let us, it's no longer time. But today, what is at stake is more important than any single person. The future of every Igbo man is at stake. It is time to come out and tell the world that we are not part of this madness. It is time to come out and tell the world that we are not fighting any war. We are not interested in war. We are interested in moving the Igbo nation forward. Let us make an Igbo to be like China. Let an Igbo be like Singapore. We can do that. We have the brain, the intelligence, the magnanimity. The aim is to turn an Igbo to one of the Asian tigers, to Taiwan, to Singapore. Let's turn an Igbo to Dubai. How do you tell me that your problem is the Hausa man? All the beggars in Nigeria are from the north. All the beggars, all the true shiners in Nigeria are from the north. How do you tell me? I feel ashamed sometimes to say Namu Igbo, because this is not the Igbo nation I know. The Igbo nation I know are very pragmatic people. How do you tell me that people who are analphabetic, who cannot write the names, they are your problem? How do you tell me that? If the Hausas are the problem, should have been able to rebuild themselves. How can't we understand that we are the losers? If you live in a glass house, you cannot throw stone. 70% of Abuja belongs to the Igbo man. 60% of Lagos belongs to the Igbo man. Why do we want to waste our suffering? What we have suffered, what we have labored to put together in the past 15 years. Why do we want to throw them to the dust, to the beans? Why? They are all tellers. Ndi Igbo fighting able to tyrants and get men. They have nothing at stake. Is it difficult for us to understand? That Ndi Asa we're going to lose. Ndi Yoruba and we're going to lose. We have suffered before. We suffered abandoned property. I still remember Ojuku fighting for the Alaska Lodge. Had to bring Rotimi William to get back to his house. Ndi Igbo Nnamdi. Their papa wife belonged to Sir Louis Ojuku. We have everything to lose. We have everything to lose. About the time. About the time. About the time. Let us stand up and say no. I've done my part. I've done my part. I call on all of you. We need one drop on my. The war is no longer of weapon. It's no longer war of 94 or AK-47. The war is now of the brain. The three wise men came from the east. I've come to tell you, the reason of my address is that no more war. The war is of the brain. China brought the war down on their knees. China brought the war on their knees without leaving their country. We have to start reading books. After the war told us the best way to win is to win without having to shoot a single bullet. The best way to win a war is to win without having to shoot a single bullet. It's a war of the brain. There's a difference between wisdom and intelligence. It's no more time. I was taught at school, get my word, never to embark on a revolution, except when I am sure that the outcome is going to be better than what it is before the revolution. Except my professors at the University of London were fools. They taught me that I should not embark on a revolution, except when I'm sure that the outcome is going to be better than what it is. Who can assure me that if we go to war, the Igbo nation after the war is going to be better? After the war, it's our capable our position, capable our condition. We cannot afford another war. The world we live today is no longer about war. All the people know the war. Ndigbo si okukuvuke esi anokwa. Look at Syria. Look at Afghanistan. Look at Liberia. War breeds hatred, rancor. It never ends. I'm afraid. My heart is bleeding for the blood of innocent that is going to be shed again for the ambition of one man. Thank you for listening.
Dr. Paul, thank you so much. We have listened to Dr. Paul, as I told you in the beginning. Dr. Paul is a graduate of Economics and Business Administration. He's presently studying law, LNB, Aden University, London, UK. He has spoken to us as children. Dr. Paul, I don't know if you want to entertain a few questions because some people have been asking me questions. If you want to, okay. Now, if you have a question, just click on the link I provided on the screen, and then I will invite you if you have any question. Meanwhile, somebody said, you didn't say something about Dakaboro's part during the war. I don't know much about that. Somebody just asked that question.
Azikboro is talking about?
Yes, Azikboro.
Let me take their questions, so I attend to them once. 2, 3.
Okay. If you have a question, you can just text it or just click on the link I provided on this, and then let me know. I will invite you to the screen, and then let me check some few questions. Somebody said, tell us a little bit about Adaka Bor or whatever his name is called. And another person said, just 1 minute, just a minute. Let me get those questions. So if you have a question, it is time to ask. If you want to appear on the screen, you can. Somebody said, okay, is it okay when the police kill a civilian? I don't know. Somebody said Azikiwe was president, but not commander-in-chief. Tabala Balewa was due. Your speech was okay. He's trying to praise your speech. And a lot of people say, thank you a lot. Somebody said a lot of those who are grossly ill-informed are the loudest in agitation for El Dorado, driving by false hope. I don't know if you want to say something on that.
Repeat again, please. Repeat again.
He said that sadly, a lot of those who are grossly, just a moment, I want to, because he said, sadly, a lot of those who are grossly ill-informed are the loudest in agitation for El Dorado. They are driving by false hope. So I don't know if you want to talk about those false hope. And many people are still texting their question. This person said, how I wish we will be properly educated by the piece of intelligent presentation. I told my generation that Yorubas are more interested in pushing us to war so they can claim our investment in West. Sunday Igbo is only pushing for Yoruba presidency come 2023. He is never fighting for secession. And somebody said, what is your thought towards a 2023 general election? I hope you're noting those things. Otherwise, you take the questions and then I will go through them again. And please, if you're just joining, Dr. Paul is just telling us a lot of things. He told us the history of the war, how we lost the war, who was really leading Nigeria. But Dr. Paul, some people are joining and they said if you can rephrase some of the things you say in a very short form and answer the questions, then more questions are still coming.
Well, I try to tell them that the summary of my message, the reason why I decided to address the Igbo nation is that the dimension we are going is going to be disastrous. And Ndi Igbo Nnamdi Ikenyara no no ewu amwa no bole. And ndị be anyị si n'aka na-ekwu abụrụ dị okwu na m kwukwara and ekwe ma anụ mele nwata ma afọ ekwu mele okenye. So I think I have a little experience about war. I have a little experience about Nigeria and a little experience about Igbo nation that I feel that I should come out to advise our people on the dimension under the way they should go. Because now, you see, how do I put it? Almost so the summary of my what I'm saying is that now it is no longer the time that people pick up arms. They didn't come out of it. Now Ndi Igbo were everything on earth to rule Nigeria. Everything on earth. What we lack is love and strategy. Now, I cannot come here to say certain things or tell you people what my strategies are for Ndi Igbo Nigeria. But I will not be possible. Now, I've tried to explain certain things or try to tell you, let us forget about whether not a ceremonial president. The president is the president. Every president is commander-in-chief. That's why he's the president. Nobody has removed that from the lexicon. But the point is that now, if we want to draw ourselves back from of view, one of the greatest problem of investment is instability. Now, where there is crisis, you don't expect anybody to come and invest. So we plunge into another, even Ghana, where already is a problem. Because the white man will run away. The investors will run away. The Igbos themselves are not coming to the Igbo nation to invest. Before, let me repeat again. What actually Igbo go see because all that run an Igbo. So how dare you think about war? How dare you? How dare you? Now, first, we are a landlocked state. We are surrounded by enemies. Who do you expect to support you in that war? South never Ndigbo. I'm not interested on Obi Igbo and Azo. That's rubbish. South governors were their own group. Southeast. We are a landlocked state. Landlocked means that any aircraft in Nigeria must pass through enemy ground. So that we don't have the possibility. Again, to fight a war, you need to have capital. Look at oil, come be oil. Look at gold, be gold. The money you sold, you met in Yahoo, market.
Sir, excuse me. Somebody is asking a question. He said, if Igbos were able to produce Obunigwe in those days and use it to fight war, don't you think they can do more now to conquer any country?
It's an illusion. Now, the problem I went today in the first place. Obunigwe, a desperate action. Obunigwe, I've told them now, Robini. A lot of things we have done. Necessity is the mother of invention. Under very such difficult situation, we invented so many things. My name was the greatest error. 2.5 million people that died in the eastern, died in Ndigbo. 2.5 million. We lost the war the first week the war started. We lost Enugu. So it's even supervivience in the language, trying to exist. It didn't take us anywhere. Because you need ammunition to build Obunigwe. You need raw materials to build Obunigwe. We were able to have airport at Tuli. Yes, but where is the airport? We were able to refine crude oil. We used palm oil to produce, to drive our cars and fly our jets. Oh, that's wonderful. But the world has changed. Today there's even nuclear weapon. Look at the COVID-19 problem we had. It took about a year to invent a vaccine. If you start a war today, before even we come together to do what we are doing, we already finished. War is that now, if war start today, tomorrow, jets start flying, machines start rolling. Nigeria or America, you have to start negotiating for where you're going to buy. So let's come out of this rubbish. Will be wonderful. UK made a mistake. I wrote in my book, go and search the book online. I'm the author of How Safe is Our Investment. I wrote in that book that UK should not leave EU. They left EU. What is their position now? The world is coming together. We are breaking. Do you know why? Do you know why Kwame Nkrumah was killed? Because he was talking about unified Africa. The same thing for Thomas Sankara. EU is coming together. America is the amalgamation of 5 countries. EU is 5 states. England, Wales, Scotland. But we want to break. Now I want to ask you a question. Ndi Igbo Nnamdi today. Let them build Obunigwe and sell. The government of Nigeria is not supporting them. What's the problem with that? Look for investors. Produce Obunigwe in the laboratory. There's Professor Okoye was at Enugu, Proda. We flew our first editor. Look, don't think we don't have these facts. We have these facts. We have it. We know what happened in the war. But that's not the reason why I should go to another war today.
So, but the truth is, so the truth is the young people are very, very angry with what is happening in Nigeria now. Everybody is not happy. So I'm not angry. Everybody is, I mean, some of these young people are seriously angry, and you see that anger, genuine anger in them. Is this a misplacement of priority, or what do you think is supposed to be the solution or the way forward?
You are perfect. I'm more angry than the youth. I'm much more angry than the youth. I called my first conference in 1992 and addressed the government of Nigeria. It's misplaced priority. Now the youth should take their destiny by their hand. Who said there should be no demonstration? Who said there should be no protest? But protest should be objective. We should ask for clear things. I'm a product of reform. I'm looking for reform. I need a mandate. I'm the president of Ndigbo Heritage Worldwide. And leading a reform. We're asking for a modern state. You can't build by destroying. Now look at how stupid the youth are. Youth in Anderson and Yevansomu, in the end South, what happened? The properties of the South were destroyed. Lagos was burned down. Enugu was burned down. Nothing happened in Kanu. Nothing happened in Kaduna. So where's the wisdom in the attack? Where's the wisdom in the protest? The youth should coordinate. Let us join force together. Tell the youth, I am out to fight. But objectively, let's move to the General Assembly and tell them that there must be a new law in Nigeria. There's nowhere on earth where a president can remove Chief Justice of Nigeria. So we know what our problems are. There's nowhere on earth where a governor can remove a king. We know what our problems are. And you have one clear problem in Nigeria. Immunity should be removed. The law should be respected. Then the youth fight a just war. When you remove immunity, the governor will be afraid that Nobu Noshoff will go to prison. Buhari will be afraid. Nobu Noshoff will go to prison. There are things we can do, but let's do it together. We can't achieve that by destroying Nigeria. We ask for a modern state. I am for a modern state. I'm a product of reform. I'm an activist of international standing. Go and ask Luca Casarini. I've fought battles in Europe. I've fought battles for 22 years. I know what I'm saying.
So, somebody said you were wrong when you talked about how the war started, that you, according to you, Ojukwu made a mistake. But somebody said the war was due to the massive killings in the north of the Igbos, and that was the only way forward.
You see, when I say we should leave sentiments and be objective. I don't have time to entertain sentiments. I addressed that. I said that the Igbos were killed. Gowon was adamant. And I cited a book. I said they should go and reach Chinua Achebe. I don't have time to entertain sentiment. Because what is at stake is more important than sentiment. There's no room for the Igbos to reason with their mind. They should reason with their brain. This is a strategic argument, strategic discussion. So it's not a time to tell me they were killed. The point is that you declare a war without having anything, like we are doing today. The soldiers, they took their gun. Is that how you want to fight another war? I'm saying it's not time for sentiment. Forget about the killed Igbo. Who said they did not kill Igbo in the north? They killed in Lagos. I said that. They were going on manhunt, house to house. And the one didn't do anything. I wrote about that everywhere on earth. I just finished a book, The Fall of the Giant. And I called Gowon an assassin. I said Gowon should be tried and walk out and killed. But how can Ndi Igbo try Gowon when we cannot come together to get president of Nigeria? Upon Ndi Igbo, sure, we'll come together, use our resources. Now somebody asked me about 2023. Now let me tell me about what I think about 2023. I'm calling a conference at Uturu University to discuss that. Now, what am I saying? I'm saying that what we need is president of Igbo interest. If I need to this stupid story of Igbo extraction on Igbo Gachi Nigeria, and I'll give you an example. The example I gave you is that Yorubas, everything where they got it at opposition. The first government, they were opposition. Now, the last government of Buhari and see the president, the power is in the hand of the Yoruba man. Now, who told me that Yorubas are not in support of the claim? The greatest Muslim in Nigeria, Moshood Abiola, go and look at all the schools, go and look at all the Islamic development in Nigeria. The person that developed them is Moshood Abiola. Tinubu is a Muslim. So why tell me this rubbish? Go back and open your book and read. Don't tell me Buhari. Let us be factual and discuss issues. Nobody is saying that the police should kill Ndi Igbo. Nobody has said that. Nobody is saying that the Hausa should kill Ndi Igbo. Nobody has said that. What I'm saying is that as a strategic thinker, as somebody who is trained to solve problems, if you find yourself in a court and your client is faced with death sentence and faced with life imprisonment, which option do you take? I take option of life imprisonment because in life imprisonment amnesty can come. I'm saying in the face of the situation, what was Ojukwu supposed to have done? Zeke said he should not fight. Mbasukeme said he should not fight. Mbadiwe said he should not fight. So how can you tell me Ojukwu was compelled to fight? He fought because he wanted to fight. Mbazwike is still alive. I met Mbazwike on the 12th of November 2020. And he told me what I'm telling you. There are people that are still alive that have said the war could have been avoided. So I'm not interested in your sentiments. I'm not saying anybody should kill. I have said and I repeat, I'm against killing of any sort. My question is, what is the solution? The viable option is to go to war. You have no possibility of winning the war. If you tell me how we can win the war, I will join you.
So somebody is asking a question, why did Emeka Ojukwu, because you talked about war. So this person said, please, I want to know, why do you think Emeka Ojukwu eliminated Emmanuel Ifajuna and Chukwuemeka Nzogu?
Well, I will tell you my own account. My own account is that Nzogu was becoming too popular. Nzogu was becoming too popular in the army, and the Ojukwu, from the account, now I listened to Major Madebo, who wrote the Nigerian 5 Majors. And the account of Madebo was that Nzogu is already one of the most charismatic soldiers in Nigerian army. I remember I said, for those who said that Igbo was not an Igbo coup, how come all the coup plotters fought on the side of Igbo people, including Banjo, who is a rubber man? All of them fought on the side of Igbo people. But when I say that the Igbo killed the 27 Northern leaders, that is the problem we have today. Because the Northerners are still afraid. They are still scared of the Igbo man. They are still not comfortable. They think that, and if they come to destroy Igbo nation now, you see that fear of domination. Because they have that fear of domination. And remember, betrayal. It is the heart of betrayal because I and outside they Nigeria. Anyway, MSC election, NCNC, Bunkeziki, now Northern People's Congress agree to rule Nigeria. So it's our ally. Again, Nigeria cannot again, that's betrayal. So the question he asked me, the answer is what I'm giving him. I said that already. The war could have been avoided. Let us remove that. It's a choice you make.
So, sir, please, there are 2 questions. One said, I thought Aburi Accord was because the war was because of Aburi Accord. And the other person said, tell us why you think Ojukwu started the war.
And I'm telling him, Ojukwu started the war. Now listen, let me tell Aburi and I come to Ojukwu. Aburi Accord, there was an accord in Aburi. Those were attempts made to arrive at peace. Now, when they came back from Aburi, Ghana, the problem was that when Congo One come back, the Northern Allies convinced him that he should not apply the agreement that were reached at Aburi. And I've told you one of them. The major agreement is rehabilitation of Ndi Igbo senator because Igbos were not prepared for what they didn't want to fight. So when they were coming back, when the mayhem started, the pogrom started, only black property, which is what is still going to happen again. Because Ndigbo has gone back to Gwasa. So when they were coming, they didn't come with their property. So at Aburi, there was an agreement to rehabilitate them. Now, when they came back, the Northern convinced one not to do that. And the one said no. Ojukwu said on Aburi will stand. Now, why do I think Ojukwu fought the war? Ojukwu fought the war because he had these people in the south and the Northerners, the Gowan, was not respecting the Aburi Accord. Now, Ojukwu, like today is happening, sentiments. My disagreement with Ojukwu. My disagreement with Ojukwu because Ojukwu is a soldier, just like what is happening today, which is the reason why I'm addressing the Igbo nation today. That at moments in our life, we have to think strategically. That's what soldiers go to do. We have to eschew sentiments with our thoughts. Why am I addressing you today? To tell you that in the face of provocation, you should not yield to stupid pressures. They were stupid pressures. Ojukwu declared the war. Go and read the address. Fellow countrymen, the war has started because several of us. But one didn't declare the war. So, what has happened today happened then. when you become disobedient to the government is compelled to restore law and order. The duty of the police is to maintain law, to maintain peace. When the military comes in, is to restore it. That means he has fallen, like he has fallen today. So that's why I'm talking to you. That the Igbo nation should know that law and order has been broken down, and the government has a responsibility to restore that. Now, the Igbo man should not allow himself to be destroyed on the pretense.
Somebody asked a question with regards to that. He said, you said that Ojukwu imprisoned his fellow country Igbos who were supposed to fight along him. Do you have any proof that he did that?
Tell the person that I spoke to Mbazulika Amechi. I am organizing the birthday of Mbazulika Amechi on the 16th of June. Mbazulika Amechi told me in his house, he's still alive. He's the only man alive among the nationalists. He told me that they told Ojukwu not to fight the war. That Ojukwu put himself in Mbazulika Amechi 500 redus. He cannot leave his house. He cannot leave Upo. Tell the person that is asking me the question that he should come to Upo on the 16th of June and listen to Mbazulika Amechi. Tell him that they told Ojukwu not to fight the war. He told Ojukwu don't fight. There are people that told him not fight. He's the last man standing. He's still alive. Maybe soon we'll have him again. If you like, I'll post my interview with him. He will tell him himself. He had an interview with BBC World. He's still alive. He's sound in mind and spirit. The war was stupid. Like I'm telling you today, it will be madness to fight a war today. We are not prepared.
Somebody asked a question. I don't know if you said that. He said that you said that the militaries are backing the Fulanis for killing the Igbos. He said, please, how do you feel when how do you feel when the Fulanis kills the Igbos and the militaries are backing them up?
And I answer him in very simple terms. I am against killing of any sort. Not only Fulani outside Yoruba Igbo Bini. I am against any type of killing as an activist. Now, what I want to teach him, what I want him to know today is that if he wants to fight a Fulani, he should devise a way to fight Fulani. Maybe in about what if now, even Neku is this, Kamana Makon and Igbo. Open open S Saligin on your Fulani, Janus on your Fulani, and make sure no go on an Igbo. Makana no go on an Igbo. It was bomb to your Fulani, or Missia, or Dana an Igbo, wake out, or the Wennem, or the Wenengiwan. So, upon your Fulani show go, he just find the awakening and Fulani get Juno. Upon your Fulani show go. He just provoked one Nigerian government. So, on your Fulani, ozone as a Nigerian government to come and fight you. I don't know if I've been able to explain this. Ndi Igbo question. Fulani is 1% of Nigerian population. So, I feel ashamed as Ndi Igbo to say that 1% of Nigerian population is dominating them. So, Ndi Igbo way is that as we are talking here, no agreement. No respect. No respect for our elders. No respect for Onyeki Biemalu. We can come together and take away power from Fulani man. When we decide to sponsor even an Hausa man to the next president 2023 and take Nigeria and do what we have, which I have told you. Even in Nigeria, we have been kind of under Zik. After Zik, we have not had anything again. Everything we had in Ndigbo, Memmaketo, University of Nigeria, everything federal was under Zik. We lost our position, we lost everything through war.
Sir, I know we don't have enough time. Somebody is asking, why do you feel? There's two questions. One said, why do you think Yorubas are the enemies of the Igbos instead of the Fulanis killing us? And another person, Mustafa Adamu, and another person asked, please, is it only by war country can be created? So two questions. The other person said, is it only by war country can be created? Another person is asking, why do you think the Yorubas are the enemies of the Igbos instead of the Hausas that are killing them, the Fulani that are killing them?
There's what we call a serpent grass, a green snake in the green grass. The Yoruba have a green snake in the green grass. The power tussle is between the Yoruba and the Igbo man because the educated elite, Ndi Igbo Nnamdi Yoruba in the first place. And I'm giving a little history. I advise that person to take time to go and listen to what I've said initially on this program. Because I already told you, Etu Osibundi Yoruba with the great enemy. The little position when Nigeria will lose when the Yoruba take you over. So we can continue to take, and I've said already too. Now, Tinubu, who made the Buhari president, a Muslim, and the greatest Muslim in Nigeria, but MK Abiola is now late. So let us know that Opro Sundas are Muslim in Nigeria. Yoruba are Muslim. And I don't know where they get this Ndi Igbo. I don't know where they get it. The fact that the person ruling Nigeria today, a Fulani man, Fulani is 1% of Nigerian population. So we should understand politics and know that politics is a game played with strategy. Politics is about gossip. Let us get this fact clear. Government is government. Fulani is Fulani. Separate the two things. Let's go and fight tribal with Fulani and leave Nigerian government. If we confront Nigerian government, we'll be destroyed. Having said that, now the other person asks a question about Ikeobodo. I want that person to go back. Now, after the Second World War, Eleanor Roosevelt was mandated to go around the world. And he came back with the Proclamation of the United Nations Charter, which is fundamental human rights. Now, the world community is against division. Now, this is where what I have against certain people when they say, Mr. A went to UN. Nobody goes to UN. UN is here to build ties. UN is there to unify countries. UN is not there to divide. So I don't know where they get that from. This thing takes a little research to get there. And when there's no way a sovereign nation, tomorrow, you divide. If it is possible, other countries will have been broken. In UK, they have a problem. In Turkey, the Kurd wants to go. Cameroon is dying of war. Where do you think there's no problem? I want the person to tell me. The people that, somebody tell me there was a referendum. Who told you? There was a referendum, maybe there was an accord at the beginning. I want you to give me the accord that was in Nigeria that anybody can go where he wants to go. When you sign a pact, you have signed a pact. It's a pact. Nigeria is an indivisible body. To break Nigeria takes war. It's not possible to go by peace. If you not want to break away, Nigeria will fight them. You don't want to break away, Nigeria will fight them. There's no president on Nigeria that will preside the vision of Nigeria. So let us accept this fact as it is. Nigeria needs to move forward. I think Okoye will find time, because I wouldn't want to educate you people that the problem of black place is interwoven, is interconnected. You cannot solve the problem of Nigeria without solving the problem of Ivory Coast, without solving the problem of Ouagadougou. That's what is called the Pan-Africanist movement. There are certain things people have to know. Buhari didn't fall from the moon. Buhari did not fall from the moon. America refused to sell ammunition to Good Luck when he was having problems with Boko Haram. So we have to get this fact straight. Mahatma Gandhi died, he was killed. The Jews was killed. Many people were killed. Sylvain Biko was killed. Many people died in the struggle. Murtala Muhammad was killed. Do you know that when Murtala Muhammad was killed, the person that killed Murtala Muhammad was there at British Embassy for 2 weeks until news filtered out. And then they left him, they took him to Abuja and left him there. And they caught him and said he was running away. Murtala was killed because he was a Pan-Africanist. How long am I going to tell you this? Do you realize that Kwame Nkrumah was killed because he was looking for unification of Africa? Do you know why Steve Bantu was killed? You need to go and listen to your history book. Do you know why Thomas Sankara was killed? He was declared and proclaimed in faraway Paris. You have to know these things. When they killed Patrick Eminence Lumumba, they cut him into pieces, put him in a drum, and pour acid on him, and he melted. That was the president of a country. Do you realize that Shokumbari, in a few days, was removed as the AU ambassador to US because he got funds that 14 countries in Africa they cannot have their currency, they cannot have their central bank. African problem is unique. There has to be a global approach to that. The world is uniting. Your enemy wants you to be broken. Who is giving ammunition to them? You don't buy ammunition along the road. Anybody that is telling you to fight, that you want to fight, ask him who gave him ammunition. Ask him how much had the person given him. Nobody can buy ammunition. Because ammunition is one of the most regulated things on earth. If Asare Dokubo tell you want to fight, ask Asare Dokubo, who gave you ammunition? How much did the person give you? What is your agreement with him? If you are a leader tell you, ask your leader and say, who gave you ammunition? How did you buy it? It's not sold along the road. Yoruba man, ask the Yoruba man, how do you get your ammunition? Ammunition is not sold along the road. Anybody who is holding arm has a sponsor somewhere. So he's doing the interest of who is sponsoring him. He's not fighting for your interest. Come out of this madness. Come out of it. Soon you will pull the Igbo nation down. Your father, your mother, your brother, your sister will die. And you start from nowhere. So come out of this madness. Enough.
Sir, please, I want you to connect holistically. I want to give you some time to connect holistically where we are now, the anger of the youth, because there is a vacuum. Something must exist. So nothing is happening. And to them, the only solution is division. The people has been pushed to the wall. Most of them, after school, there is no job. I know that this problem is all over the country, but to them, it makes that it appears if the Igbos are the one, the whole situation is really hurting. There is serious anger in the street. So, what will you tell these young people? Because each time I say something, they say, join kanu, or how do we get our own countries? To them, this is just the solution. What is the solution?
I want to answer you, Okechukwu. Now, listen to me and listen good. In the beginning, when we came back from the war, Agbamonu said that anybody who does not know his life history, origin and culture is like a tree without root. When we came back from the war, Biafra was the leader of the Eastern region. Biafra said, "Olubielu nyalasha." So Ndi Igbo bido. That's the first problem. The second problem, we went into the advent of 419. We came out of that, we went into Shagari government. I want to tell you certain things. Mbana Enugu Express Road, there were 7 flyovers. Money for those flyovers will phone you with the Tianaba, where the Luamodo Hotel. Now, I want to tell you before I left Nigeria, on Onisha River Niger, and we see ports. That seaport, somebody will get here now. I want to tell you that that Niger Bridge has watered for more than 10 times. Only one election. Till date, Niger Bridge are lawyer. Things are so bad, and I feel it more than you do. I have already told you that Esimon Shajenugu, the only thing from Onisha to Enugu is only signboard, church, crusade ground, and pure water. There's no factory. Peter B. Shilani Anambra State, for 80 years. The only thing up of one beer factory. Even Jali beer factory, nobody bobo, one room. Radio station, actually radio station, Alua Ufo radio station. If we go to the beginning, the worst leaders of earth are from my neighbor. I want you to look at Aba, the Enyimba city that is the pride of Igbo nation. Augusto Kanu, Wele Aba, in all other state, Tianaba. Okoye, Potati Oji, who was his aide, Mayor governor. Ti Oji, when he encouraged you for, may turn Aba or blew his own personal property. As he's living, he made himself a senator. Leader of the House, Speaker of the House of Abia State. As soon as they got I want all of you to go to Aba and tell me whether Mother Tenyim Basi talk about Enyimba City. These are not done by Ndausa. I want us to look at Imo State. We had a man called, who is now a senator, Rogers Okorocha. Rogers na Imo State. Upon a short any appointment, you have to sign a document. That document you got signed. You are 30%, you have signed it off. If you ever open your mouth, you are fired or you are dead. When Nashi will stay today, there's nowhere on earth it can happen. There's somebody now will do number 4 in the election, was number 1 Nashi. I'm telling the youth that have a great role to play. Instead of destroying the little one, that we should come together and demand for what is our right. Onwoye bonye yutu na gamonti na mor na akaru local government election na Anambra State. Onwoye bonye yutu na gamonti na mor na akaru local government election in Igbo State. Onwoye bonye yutu na gamonti na mor na governor of Abia State is not a human being. Why can you find a foreign I believe to an umbrella? Why don't we face the truth squarely and hold our destiny by our hand? We are the architect of our own problems. Ndigbo no what if mother that can come along where? When you are pointing one finger on other people, the 4 fingers are pointing at you. We have to destroy ourselves because of now the people that are ruling us. In 2023 political election began KGM. The people snatched the Igbo presidency, Kanu, Iwanyang. All the roles sitting in Ndigbo, the one Kenya Kolwa, Otinye the whole money in Abia. He's the person today that's talking about Igbo presidency. So how do you think he's honest? You realize what the people talking about Igbo presidency, but they used to go to negotiate in Abuja. Manalego na Abuja, Lagos get the money, make a see before they start coming back to Ndigbo. Those people that say they want to live in Ndigbo, frankly, no way by Ndigbo. You know one governor or one political leader that is living in the east. Frankly, you know anyone on Lagos or one on Abuja. Size up. Obrunubu use can they use as political thoughts. I know the people that line up at the election in 2000. I know the people that are being used. Now let us wake up. Let us start saying things that are realistic. And I've given you people an example of the things you can get. And the world will listen to you. And you'll fight a just cause. Then the white government that is supporting your government to destroy you, their youth will revolt against them. You have to play the game that is being played in the world today. Don't play the stupid game of war. When they see us, they come and destroy you. Get it. What you have to do is let us rise up. It's not to go and ask Buhari to resign. The world see him as a democratically elected president. And in the Senate, young leaders there, young representatives. Let us rise up and tell Buhari, now you shall reform. Let us rise up and tell Governor of Anambra State, I shall reform. Election is coming up in Anambra State. All the people around them, they are criminals. Another criminal will now become the governor of Anambra State and come and blame West Africa, blame Buhari, not Abuja. Let us come together and change. Let us start changing. That is why they are saying piecemeal approach. Let us go and say, no, Anambra State will not be sponsored by Peter Obi or Willie Obiano, because Willie Obiano himself has nothing to go to join Anambra. So why should he sponsor somebody? 8 years ago, Anambra came Willie Obiano chita. Willie is working. Can you even Willie now? Willie is working. So we know where the problems are. Let us stop pretending and stop shying away and stop telling ourselves that the problem is the America London. The problem is right there before us. Even the main market, any person on the shop is on the can be likened to a psychiatric home. What number home being we keep on the shop? Or a better
So and when everybody most of the people are saying, if I can understand what they are saying, they believe in practicalism. That what is the practical approach? Now I want to connect it to your organization, Ndigbo Royal Heritage. What are they able to do? Do you think they can? Because let me tell you, sir, the problem in Igbo land cannot be fixed without involving kanu. It is not possible because he has a lot of followers, and there is a serious ideology that no matter what you say, one of his followers sometimes told me that if his father said that if his father is against Kanu, that he's ready to kill his father. So if we continue all the semantics, how do we, because you say hold your governor accountable, do this. How did they do this? Is it through their umbrella body called IPOB, or what is the practical approach? Because we are degrading. You know, when we started discussion, our situation is getting from worst to worst. The killings, there is no, even I was told in Imo State what is happening. No police in the road. People are being robbed now, and police are even afraid. We are moving into a serious state of anarchy. What do we do? How do we connect this to IPOB and their leadership and the ECN and all this? You talk about the guerrilla war. Where are we going? Because we can finish talking this and then we leave it without underlining a practical approach to how do we come out from this quagmire.
Emeka, or we accept to do the things that are possible, or we presume to be saints or play gods, and there are no living saints. Now, I've said it and I'm repeating it again. Anybody is so bad, but we must take an approach. We must have take something, do it, take another one, achieve it. If we think that we can, there is a holistic approach. Nobody has ever been able to do that. If we root for a revolution that is purposeful, it will work. But if we root for a revolution that is not purposeful, will lead to destruction. That is what I have against what is happening today. Because the revolution of today is not purposeful. It's not objective. The revolution has to be objective, and I'm giving you a few examples. The problem I have, political leadership, what is fueling ESN, what is fueling the youth is bad leadership in Ndigbo. And we have in October this year a way to start changing it. If the youth want to say, let us do the revolution today, that all the governors in Ndigbo should resign, I'll be part of them. You start making sense. But if the road starts saying, let police not be along the road, if you start killing the police, they are taking a wrong road. Because that road will lead to crisis, that road will lead to chaos, that road will lead to anarchy and order. You invite government to come with their might, and government will come with their might and will destroy you. So what I'm saying is that there is hunger, there is starvation, there is famine. Now, as I'm talking, I'm from Anambra. The governor of Anambra State, from information, takes away 1.2 billion from Anambra every month. I'm not a member of that government. I wouldn't know whether it is truth or the figures are correct. But what I'm saying is that there are the ones we see. What are the ones we see? In Anambra, for the past 19 years, there have never been political election. So we can start by holding the governor of Anambra State accountable. Then if ESN or whatever they are saying that, I will stand with them. Let us come together and change the narratives in Ndigbo. Let us start by changing the political leadership. It is possible to change it. Any election in Anambra, we can be chasing the shadow. And chase a shadow. They install one idiot again. When they install another idiot in Anambra State, we can continue chasing the shadow again, but it must stay for 8 years. Even when you destroy the governor, the government house, you will be in his house. What he says is law. That is what is called law. I want people to understand that there's what is called law. That any change that does not come through the law is anarchy. It's breaking the law and order. That the right way to change, which we can, is to compare. If we go to compare the governor, to compare the house in Anambra State, that they must make a law tomorrow that the judge will be independent. We have achieved one thing, because you can take the governor to court. Today you cannot take a governor to court. because he was the person that appointed the Chief Justice of Nigeria, and they can remove him. So there's what you can do about that. You cannot take Buhari to court because he appointed the Inspector of Police. So you can't do anything about that. He appointed the Chief of Army Staff. In UK, the Chief Justice evolves. In Italy, it is hierarchy. That's why we have to ask ourselves, what does US have that we don't have? What does UK have that we don't have? What is that exists in Italy that makes them different from us? And I'm telling you the thing that exists in their country that exists from us. Berlusconi was a prime minister. He was put in prison by a judge. Ida Bocassini told Berlusconi, I will put you in prison. Nothing happened. Ida Bocassini is still a magistrate. He's a public prosecutor. He told him physically, face to face. There's no police, there's no judge that can even enter the house of Buhari. A magistrate tried and convicted the Chief Justice of Nigeria. The Nigerian Bar Association could not even protest. So everybody is a culprit. The country is bad, and we are all part of that problem. We are part of the blunder, the mess. So we should stop pretending. If we destroy Nigeria, we will be worse because we start all over again. I want you to know that name we can involve. The South can call us and tell them about the army for 10 years. Nigeria can do that. So for 10 years, you have to wait. I'm saying that war is an ill wind that blows no one any good. What Nero is trying to do is what I'm telling you. Piecemeal approach. Nero is trying to say things are so bad, but we don't have to destroy Nigeria. We don't have to fight another war because things are bad. Let's start by changing the politicals of Ndi Igbo. Do you realize that in Ndi Igbo, anywhere in Nigeria, that a governor can remove any king, look at somebody like Sanusi, was removed by Ganduje, whatever you call it, the governor of Kanu State. When we were in school, we were reading about Sanusi, Sultan of Sokoto. We thought they are gods. One day we woke up and Sanusi has been removed and even banished. These are bad laws. The British made those laws, so we should change it. That is how to start. That is how to get a modern state. What does a British man have that an Oshaman does not have? If an Oshaman is sick, there's no plans to go and pick him. There's no register. There's no death register. Nobody knows how many people are born. Nobody knows how many people die.
So another question I want to ask you before we start rounding up is, to an average Igbo man, the Fulanis are our enemies, and this understanding is deeply rooted in all of us. That even when we see an ordinary Hausa man, that is our understanding that these are the people killing us, and now the understanding is people should. Or a certain group of people should make sure they are not in our bushes and forests. They don't come near us. How do we handle this aspect of ideology? How do we handle it? Because without first of all digging from the root, we'll be making a lot of mistake. It will be like we are just trying to bring down the leaves without first of all the root. There's a deep hatred. Is this I don't know what to call it. I mean, we have focused on the wrong enemy based on what you said. What will you tell the youth today?
Now, what I want to tell the youth is this. You see, but maybe academic training has made me to see certain things or read certain books or know certain things. Now, I've said one thing here already, and I've said the best way to win is to win without having to shoot a single bullet. There's a book written by a Chinese general. It is called The Art of War. The Chinese knew without wasting blood, without wounding anybody, without having to shoot a bullet. That's the best way to win. Now, there's another book that every pundit must read. That was the one that was written by Machiavelli. I've tried not to call names in this address because Igbo nation is more important than any other person, and that's why I don't want to call names. I'm addressing the Igbo nation, and in addressing the Igbo nation, the interest of the Igbo nation must be paramount. What we should look to at today, that's what I'm saying, strategically, can even be the interest of the Igbo nation to fight a war when we have no ammunition, or to devise another means to fight the war. There are so many ways to fight. All of us are fighting. All of us are in the battle. The difference is the approach. Now, if you tell me that your problem is the Fulani man, I want to ask you a simple question, which I've asked already other people. How many people do you know that were killed by the Fulani people? Most people have asked, said, no, I didn't know anybody. But the news everywhere is that the problem I knew were the Fulani herdsmen. Ask this question yourself. Do this interview yourself, and you may come to the same conclusion I came to myself, that there's not enough reason to go and destroy the Igbo nation again. Now, having said that, I've said a few things before, and let me touch a few of them because of the question you asked me. There's a book, like I've said, The Prince. That book told us one thing. Igbo nation, I said, that I see every morning in Atoya. You see, after some time, people accept it as truth. That is what has just happened. It's a book written by Machiavelli. If you want a lie to become truth, you repeat it, you hit it, you hammer it, and after some time, it will pass as a concept. That is what has happened in the Igbo nation. Somebody has worked on the brain of the Igbo nation. People come across certain books, they pick it. Now, let me tell you another thing. Like when you see the religious movement in Nigeria, why do they strive? Many of them have read the book I'm going to tell you about now. That book is called The 48 Laws of Power. The first law of power is never outshine your master. If you read that book and apply it, you can keep anybody under you. So I've given you the 3 books that worked the magic Ndigbo. That made Ndigbo believe that his problem is no longer his brother Naliam, no on your family. His problem is no longer on your Jimunya man on the family. It's a concept. Somebody sold that ideology. Somebody worked on the mindset of the people. Consistent and insistent campaign that will now accept a national problem. Remember my word. That is why sometimes I don't want to answer certain questions, because those questions are born out of sentiment. They are not objective. I said let us discuss objectively. Today is for strategic thinking. So you don't come to ask me questions that have no basis. I'm sorry to use that language, but I already told you. Now when Sobuna Nigeria, and I gave you an example. I'm going to good luck, and a government good luck because of insecurity. Go to down, Chipo cares, Bunugu Hausa. I'm going to go to so many cities in the north. Nara Gaziaga. The men Gizimoto, si Abuja, Jugu Hausa. In-one, I blows, Ijagi Manata. You cannot travel between Okene. Moto give me Okene, but you are already dead man. And we make a survivor. And we go so many cities in the north. Nabozi city that have already taken over. Go and look at Jos. And we go cities in Jos, Madina BSZ. They have been wiped out. Go to southern Kaduna. The Muslims in South Kaduna are about to be exterminated. Go and listen to Hassan Kuka. Hassan Kuka is number Nyabolo, the Archbishop. Yeah, we found for 80 million, 4.8 million followers. Today, they have 280,000. Hassan Kuka. Even in Ngol Gibu Hausa. Now, I've told you now the southwest, even where the highest crime killing, but but na South West. Now, kezi ko onye Igbo si wee bịazi nsogbu ya bụrụ na ndị Fulani na-egbu ndị Igbo. Onye Igbo Arabs na-enwe general problem na Nigeria. Onye Igbo na-ekwusi na-enwe problem of insecurity. Only problem in Nigeria is his own personal problem. To the point not just he destroy an Igbo. So how can somebody ask me, Nandi friend the wood in Nigeria, when I have already given you these narratives? The only thing you can tell me that will be really useful to me is to tell me the event that Abraham Yoku. Now good luck, we lose the election because of insecurity. Na Boko Haram eburu n'ugwu Hausa. That for the past 10 years, na Boko Haram are egbu ndị gbara n'ugwu Hausa. That 2 months ago, na anyị Igbo peaceful. Or you call me n'obodo unu egwuala mmadụ 10 ndị Fulani gbu. But it's shongwale be mmadụ 10 gbu na bany because of the war. So what I'm saying is that somebody sold this ideology to you. He worked on your mentality to pass the message. Now, problem in the Hausa Fulani because of his own personal interest, selfish and personal aggrandizement. And I've asked you a simple question. Onye sigini anshin wogu drank kirebo sumeta we. Why don't you listen to all the things I've told you? I've given you enough analysis this evening. So now, can onye ga na Paul Okoye scenario legbe n'afia. How did you get your own gun? Actually, why your agreement between you and that person legbe. And I've given you a solution. The solution you give now say Ndi Igbo sure Asian Nigeria not possible. Ndi Igbo achieve Nigeria before. And under good luck, power na Ndi Igbo. And now go and signal Ndi Igbo should come out of onye ya no na Soroko abia abuchukwode obulu nweke obulu obujo obulu kalabia obinna no onye no na onye ya no na Soroko nweke na aza Amadu Bello nweke za Mohammed mwe abulu Ndi Igbo tiria Ndi Igbo wori emeba cho ime agwa nge signal is a war of brain opposite iwe egbo anu ogwa brozo ogwegbe Ogwegwe brings destruction. That's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to tell you, no problem, let us go and sleep. No. I'm saying, let us do what Yoruba people do. Why they destroy us, they compel us to come and develop their country. Who's out from a bag in Milliadria? What are so nobody compare if you want to have a good life, you go to their country. After every 20 years, they organize it. What I'm telling you as Igbo man is to carry this message along. Wake up from your sleepless slumber. Join Royal Heritage. Start speaking this language. And get ready for another war. Everything will drop it. Because you can't achieve anything for that. Igbo Bonaka, when you look at Rabia with flight, Jaguar jet fighter, one can hold a city. Can every military base get the year you understand in Nigeria? Where is your military base? Where is your naval base? The greatest war, the strongest part of the army is the Navy. Navy now one missile. Where is your naval base? The war is fought and won in the air and in the sea. The infantry come to sweep. Bomb for 1 week, for 3 weeks. After the bombing, infantry, where is your military base? Where is your naval base? So, on what basis are you insinuating war? Knowing that my people will perish. I'm saying something very simple and straight. My people should not for any reason on earth embark on any type of war in the year 2021. War is an ill wind that blows no one any good.
Okay, so okay, looking at the social media today, we see a float of battalions.
Okay, give me 1 second, please.
Okay. Please, let's give Dr. Paul few seconds. I want to ask him this question, and if you have a question, text it, or I have provided a link. If you want to join on this screen, we are still going to be here to the next 20 more minutes before we go. If you have a question, text your question. I will just type your question. I'm able to see some of the questions you are asking. And then if you want to join, I provided a link, you can join. So presently, I want to ask him two questions. One, if there is any clause in the UN Charter that make provision for countries to go after 50 years of war. He's a well-learned man. Presently, he's studying LLB law with the University of London, UK. So I want to ask him, is there anything, because I've had this several times, I've not been able to come across it, if there is an enshrinement in the UN Charter that says after 50 years of war, that a country have right to secede. And this is what most of us believe, or most of our young people believe, that after 50 years of this marriage that is not working, that we have right to go, or self-cessation, or we have right for self-determination. So I will put that question across to him. And another question I want to ask him is, already there is a belief, or there is understanding, or insinuation that Igbos have a battalion of youth who are ready to fight the war. Why are we not supporting them so that we can go to this war and gain it? Now, if he says, if the answer goes to the contrary, I want to put the third question to him. What do we do? Because now we have more arms. We have arms, even though these war arms are not enough to prosecute war in Nigeria. Against any country, or against any organized military, but there is arms. There is arm glorification around the Igbos. How do we handle this? Few days ago, because for some time before he come, I want to address something. For some time, I took break from social media. The reason why I took this break is because it was becoming a serious thing for me. I was feeling it in everywhere. Everything that comes across, some people want to send it to me, and it was just giving me like a heart attack, affecting my health. Each time I see this, I want to talk. I spend my time talking to people. I spend my time doing researches, and it appears the message is not really going. And then I thought I really need some time to organize myself, focus on my personal life, and focus on my dreams for this 2021, because before you know it, 2021 will be going. So most of us in Nigeria, we start actualizing our dream the moment it comes to Mba month. But I think the January, February should be your time, and at that time you should be resting. So for some time, I took off time to focus on my private life. So now that Dr. Paul is here, I want to ask you this question, sir. Are you hearing me, sir?
Yes, I'm with you.
Okay. There is belief in the Igbo land, or among some youth in Nigeria, or even some educated people. I have not come across it. Is there any clause in the UN Charter that makes provision for self-cessation after 50 years of war?
You see,
I know you must have had this before.
Yes. Now you see,
and where lies the youth right to self-determination?
You see, I have already said this partly. You see, it's part of the campaign that we have been hearing around. And sometimes we hear that Mr. A is going to address United Nations, or is going to address UN. Incidentally, most people don't know that there are protocols. Now, UN is not a social club, or even if it's organized, there are protocols. Now, I don't know where they get that from. Eleanor Roosevelt move around the world. The aim and primary objective of UN is to build bridges to avoid another repeat of war. So how can it's in conflict with UN project? Now look at another aspect of it that people tend not to understand. People tend not to understand that UN can never go into any conflict except when it is certified that the government can no longer guarantee security of the citizens of that country. And now when that is proven, there's another word that is left, the Security Council. That the only way on earth for UN to intervene in the sovereignty, it is called sovereignty of a nation, is with the approval of the Security Council. So when they tell you, I'm going to, you ask them, which UN are you talking about? Now, to the point that there are certain things I want Ndi Igbo to understand, because it seems here there's a degree of ignorance, which I will not blame them on that. Now here, I speak as a professional, because I read the United Nations Human Rights Law at University of London, LLM. Ongoing, sorry. Now, what am I saying? Now, if there's a problem in your country, what you can do is when you gather the information, now they should know there are covenants in the UN, which is committees and subcommittees. Now you can make appeal. There are some of them that can make appeal collectively, there are some of them that can make appeal directly. Now, when you make appeal to those committees, now they have a right to even say no. If they, however, accept, when after passing through the processes, to sit on it, when they sit on it and they find out that there are some errors, now what the UN do is to write to the government of your country and advise him that these are the reports we have. After calling your government to come and defend himself, the government will come and say, no, we didn't kill anybody in Okoye. We didn't kill anybody in nowhere. And after government have said that, if at the end of the day, the committee said, no, you killed, committee will write to the government and say, President Buhari, these people that died in Owerri, we don't want them to die again. Please make sure that you protect their lives. Then after 1 year, they will come to her and say, Buhari, tell us what you have done to fight to make sure that people no longer die at Owerri. That is the institution called UN. And if UN want to send somebody to come to Nigeria to come and find out whether people are truly dying at Owerri, Buhari must give them approval. If they come out to Nigeria and Buhari say no, I don't want UN, UN will quietly go back. That is UN. And the only arm UN has is the arm of sanction. So it's not possible. When somebody say, I'm going to address UN, tell that person, which UN are you talking about? There's only one person that can take anything to the General Assembly. General Assembly is assembly of all the president, the component members of UN. So I don't know where they get this story. I want to go and address UN. UN is, I don't know which UN they're talking about. If the UN that is at Hague, then somebody was telling them lies. There's a protocol. That is why in every country, there is, in Nigeria, you have the, what is it called? There's a United Nations, and then I've forgotten the name you call it, but it's there in Abuja. In every state you have it. In every state there's this ombudsman that you have to
ombudsman, yes.
So people should understand that there's no mechanism at all for anybody to say it's going to UN. That's madness. I see that as the height of ignorance, that in 2021, somebody will come and tell you, I'm going to address UN, and you believe. Which UN is he talking about? Who is UN? UN is an aggregation of countries. It's an agreement. There's a charter. There are processes ongoing. Besides,
do you think, in all fairness, that we the Igbos are not able to convince any single country to to be part of us in case something serious breaks out.
Listen. The word is word of interest. Now, there's the greatest problem today. I said I don't want to call names. Yesterday, when we fought a war, we had important Igbo people who had contacts outside. There's nobody you are going to talk to. They see you as a rascal. If you had intelligentsia, I will give you an example. When the Yorubas, during the time of Abiola was fighting, the intelligentsias were moving. Goloshenka was in the US, and Nauro was in Canada. When we fought the war, the last time we fought the war, the intelligentsia were moving. I'm giving you an account. Chinua Achebe was in Canada. Zeke was in UK. Mwaforizu was in US. Today, we don't have them. Who is going to go and talk to the American president for you? Who do you have that you're going to talk to go and talk to Merkel? Who is going to get an appointment for you to go and talk to the Queen? Before you go to the Queen, Obasanjo will call him over the phone and tell him, don't mind those idiots. Do you understand that you have to build? Why are we organizing birthday from Basulika Mechi? Because indeed we're one of people. We don't have power. We don't have structures. We don't have people.
Okay, so I have 3 more questions before we go.
Okay.
One of my questions is this: considering what is happening today in Igbo land, and what the organization is doing, and there is serious anger everywhere, as we have repeatedly said. The youth are not happy. Most of this youth has been drafted into a kind of military or semi-military or militia, or call it whatever name. And there is armed glorification around us. What do we do? How do we handle this? Because it's not enough to say these things on social media. I know that some important personalities may eventually watch this video. What is the real message? What is the take home? What do we do, especially to all these boys that are carrying arms and thinking that burning police stations and, as alleged, and then the military barracks? How do we handle this situation?
Now, if you do the right thing the wrong way, it becomes wrong. That is first message you have to take home. If you do the right thing the right way, it becomes wrong. The second message we take home is, don't you ever start something you cannot finish. The third message you have to take home is, don't go into battle that you will never win. Now, we have to take home also that our destiny is in our own hands. We have to understand, I've said, I'm repeating it, that we are the people, we are the architect of the problem, because we allowed our political leadership to mess with our economy, our future, our destiny. We have a price to pay. Mistakes have been made. It's no longer time to blame A, B, C, D. It's time for goodwill. It's time for constructive reasoning. It's time for objectivity. It's time for strategic thinking. It's no longer time for sentiment. So the youth are angry. Everybody's angry. The youth are not angry than a mother who cannot send the children to school. The youth are not more angry than the teacher that after at the end of the month cannot pay his house rent. So everybody's angry. Nobody's better than the other. The youth have taken arms. I want you to remember, after the war between Umule and Aguleri, there were armed robbers everywhere in Anambra. Because the worst thing you do is to give arms to people who are not trained to use arms. When they are hungry, they go to the room with a gun. They go to the room with a gun. Because when you use what you want to get what you have, what you have to get what you want. So that's the greatest mistake. Proliferation of ammunition. So I want us to go and look at those places where ammunition are proliferated and see the kind of life they are living.
Okay, so another question I want to ask you before I ask you the last one is, we want to know a little bit about Ndigbo royal heritage and your consultations. Who and who have you consulted concerning the current situation in Igbo land, and what is their consensus? What are they saying? Because you have met people we are not able to meet, people we may never see again because of their old age. You have talked to them, they have told you about the war. What exactly are they telling you? Where are we heading to?
Now, their concern is that things, the way it is very bad and things must change. But their concern is that everything that is being done is done the wrong way.
Excuse me, don't forget, people want to know exactly who have you have you talked to? And before you tell us their concern.
Well, I've told you a few people, and the one in security I cannot tell you because I wouldn't want to mention certain names. I've told you a few people. I've spoken about them, I've talked about Igbos, I've spoken about the chairman of Council of Chiefs in Abia State, in Enugu State. The people I don't meet because I believe that they are our problems are those in political powers. I didn't meet them, and I will not meet them because I believe that they are the problem we have to solve. Now, all the people I meet during my conversation, which is still ongoing, is they have a clear consensus that things are bad, but that the approach in the meantime is very wrong. That it's not that way. One of them said something. He said, I have never seen a general that after planning the war, he will go and tell the whole world his strategies before the war starts. That is the lamentation of one of the elder statesmen I meet. He said, Paul, I'm so worried about the situation. My problem is that I've never seen a general that announced his war strategies in the marketplace before the war. So you get the point I'm trying to make here.
Yes, sir.
So they are worried. They want to change. Probably they don't know how to go about it. They don't like the way things are. They are more worried than us we are. Some of them want to see a better Nigeria. Mbazulike said if in his life that he will witness another Igbo president, let him die that day. He said he's waiting for that. He said, Paul, if anybody on earth can give me that, then after swearing in under Igbo president, I can die the next second. I've lived a fulfilled life. So you see, this old man, when I met one for his, Igbo one for his, spoke passionately about Igbo people and how they used to be before the war, that we had to inaugurate Igbo Day. The Igbo Day celebration was born in the palace of His Royal Majesty, Igboris. So these people, they are burning in anger. They are suffering. Some of them are dying in silence. I met bishops. I told the Archbishop, most of you are part of this problem because you are no longer saying that evil is evil. So, my friend, things are so bad. But the point is that we must accept that if we do the right thing the wrong way, it becomes wrong. Then there's no way you can take a civilian to go and fight a soldier. It is suicide. Now, when it comes to issue of war, we must remove sentiment. You cannot win war on the social media. You can't win war because you are angry. Again, we have to look at what we are confronting. We are confronting Nigeria. It means confronting the war. We have no possibility of any country supporting us. And if no country supports you officially, you can never get a steady flow of ammunition. You can buy in the black market, but how much can you buy in the black market? Even when you want to produce, you need raw materials to produce. No country, because here we are discussing international relations. A country supporting you means losing Nigeria. Now, in Igbo land, we don't even have oil to give them. They say we have in Anambra, but it's not being exploited yet. The oil is in the south. South say they are not east. If you go to the middle belt, you have all the stones, you have precious stones you have on earth. If you go to north, far north, you have gold and the rest of them. So what do you have in the south?
Because we are rounding up, your organization, Ndigbo Heritage, do you have any plan or procedure or just semantics? Do you have any laid down plan or what exactly?
Okay?
What exactly are you heading to?
You see, I've lived in Europe for 23 years, so I wouldn't have that time to go and play politics. I'm not a politician. I wouldn't even have accepted the mandate if we were not something serious and objective. Now, listen, I've said here and I'm repeating it again. Igbo presidency is feasible. It's strategy. It's a battle of the brain. Only Igbo, Asian Nigeria. Ndi Igbo, that's power. It was about a year before. I gave you a clear account before the war. Under good luck. It's one of the simplest and common things that can happen. It's applying the right strategy. It's not issue of Iswoibo. Opera can on social media. We are going there. Ndigbo gachi Nigeria. Ndigbo ye walukwa power because ogun bogo na ndi Yoruba na ogwe jibre na opera ogwa na akolo gona ga akọ. Open all the necessary that we have to go and put Tinubu now to rock to get what belongs to Ndigbo. We'll do it. I'm calling a political conference at Uturu. That political conference, the topic is Igbo presidency or Igbo interest. Because I realized that all the people that are talking about Igbo presidency 2023 are for their interest. And I have a fear that the time we can do 2023, they will lose somebody like governor of Imo State, many are president, so that when you talk, they say, look at it. Is it not anyone that is ruling you? Meanwhile, it's your own president is not your president. I'm afraid I can take somebody like Umahi, 2023, and put him there. So that if you know what Fratello Malcolm, senior brother Malcolm told us before he died. Brother Malcolm taught us one thing. He said there are two types of black. The blacks in the city and the blacks in the village. The blacks in the village are the true and the original blacks. When they go and complain, look, we are hungry. The black in the city, the white man will take him, give him wonderful suit, very fine tie, clean and polished shoe. And when the blacks in the village come and say, look, we are hungry, you have not given us our rights. The blacks in the city will say, my friend, why you say that they're giving us our rights? We are very comfortable. We have fine cars. We are living a good life. So I'm afraid that the strategy is that in 2023, they will take one of their own that they planted, and I'll give you two names. You can say I said that. They can take Uzodimma and make him president of Nigeria. Or take Umahi and make him vice president of Nigeria. And when you talk, they say, but your brother is the vice president. And that saying your brother will keep whatever program, whatever money. That's why I'm calling the political program. That's why I'm calling the political conference. It's a summit. Igbo presidency or Igbo interest. Because I'm afraid when I saw Yusokan talking about Igbo president, and I asked a question, but Yusokan, you ruled at the state for 80 years. Where are the factories you built? Where are the factories Goodluck Jonathan built that will have you pulled down? So you don't take me for a ride. If you want to tell me that your problem is there, I want to ask you what did he do?
Sir, before I ask you my final question, if you think Igbos don't have personalities to be the president, some people think as they are writing that you're probably making a way for Tinubu. What do you think Tinubu's presidency will be for the Igbo man?
I cannot make Tinubu president because the problem of Igbo man is Yorubas. I've said it here. I gave that as an example because I'm telling you that power is strategy. We have to address power as power is supposed to be addressed. Power is a phenomenon. We don't have to bring sentiment into power. Power is your brain and your strategy. The games you're able to play, how you're able to manage it, how you're able to manipulate others. So I cannot subscribe. Tinubu cannot rule Nigeria because Tinubu is coming from Awolowo. Anybody coming under Awolowo cannot rule Nigeria. There's already a ban against them. So Tinubu will never rule Nigeria in the first place. But if Tinubu happens to rule Nigeria, that may be the best thing that will happen to Yoruba man. Because making Tinubu president will be like making Ndi Kanu president or making Ojukwu president. If you make Tinubu president, Nigeria will become property of Yoruba. But if you make maybe somebody like Okoye when he was alive president, Nigeria will be fine. We are looking for a level playing ground. Now, Ndi Igbo Igbo. Oro kancho isi nyeba abuna even Ndigbo need their brain work. Even the money they do level playing ground. Upon Nigeria, a well possibility. The winner takes it. Onye Kemme, Onye Kamalu, or Jeme, Ndigbo take over. That is what Ndi Igbo Royal Heritage Worldwide is working for, to obtain a level playing ground. Makana ime level playing ground. Now, only 2 years. A man for that Ndigbo. Mana Ndigbo continue to Vasiame. Eji kpokọta ndị Nigeria, kpokọta ndị police, kpokọta ndị army, abịa gbalịa n'Igbo, anyị bidokwa n'isi, ọ bụrụ solution. We must do anything possible on earth to see that it does not happen.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Paul. We have 187 people watching now. Assuming out of these people, we have like 2 governors or probably some of our representatives. Talk to us as if maybe you have them in the audience. What will you tell them?
That they are fueling ESN, they are fueling IPOB, they are fueling South-South crisis, they are the oil that is fueling the NSAS protest, they are the oil that is fueling the death of Igbo people, they are the oil that is fueling the people that are dying in Hausa, that they are the oil that is fueling the Igbo that does not come home, they go and do their factories in Lagos, Kanu, and Kaduna. They are the oil that is when Igbo man America is not coming back home to come and invest. That it is time for them to do a right about turn. That they are the problem. I will tell them that the true problem of the Igbo nation is the political leadership. That from 1960 till date, except the first strata of leadership we had, after the war, we never had a leader in the East. We never had a leader, a political leader in the East. I'm not exempting anybody except Onona Kambakwe. That is why we are giving him the only governor's award. We never had any governor. So I will tell the governors, I will tell the political leaders that they real trouble, that anybody that is dying in Igbo nation out of any form of crisis, that God will judge them, because they are the trouble. They are the enemy. They are the devil. They are the cancer that has eaten deep into the Igbo nation. And if they do a right about turn now, it's not late. We can still be able to arrest the empires. We can still be able to arrest this march towards the Golgotha. If nothing is done, history will not exonerate us of a willful sin of omission. That's the reason why I made this address. Because I want to say that I said this and not that I could have said it.
Okay, so on ending, I read a poem called The Casualties. I know you must have read it. In this whole thing, we have the casualties. These men, our brothers, and our sons in the forest. Assuming some of them are watching this, what is your message to them? Your final message in a nutshell, and these our brothers that are so angry and thinking that the only way forward is just to carry arms or divide Nigeria, no matter what it takes.
My message to them is this: the world is coming together. We cannot afford to continue talking about dividing Nigeria. The world is coming together. I've given the example before. US 45 countries. EU 27 countries, UK 5 countries. Why they have killed all the former African leaders is because they wanted to unite Africa, including Bob Marley called him the Buffalo Soldier, taken from Africa brought to America. I will tell them, if you divide Nigeria, the East will become like Ivory Coast. The West will become like Ghana. The North will become like Niger. We will lose our importance in the Committee of Nations. There are countries waiting out there doing everything possible for Nigeria to divide. And when so many countries saw the impact, Ikewa Nigeria, and they are working tirelessly 24 hours around the clock to destroy Nigeria, to break Nigeria down, because they see Nigeria as the only impediment for the emergence as the leader of Africa in the Committee of Nations. And I must not allow that to happen. I will tell them to reason and understand that there could be only one reason why Mandela lived in Enugu. Mandela traveled Nigerian passport. We spent almost everything we had for South Africa to get independence. But Mandela was the best person that presented the motion at UN. He was the person that presented the motion at Commonwealth to suspend Nigeria. He did that for national interest, because for them, Nigeria must be pulled down for them to take over. I will tell them that today is no longer the time to waste more blood. That even their blood is important to the Igbo nation. That if one of them is killed, it's a waste to the Igbo nation. I will tell them that they are fighting a fruitless war. That the solution to the problem of the Igbo nation is not another war. And that war is an ill wind that can blow no one any good. I will tell them that they don't have the right information. They are being misled. They are misinformed. Fulani is only an infinitesimal part of the problem. That's not the problem. An infinitesimal part of the problem. I will tell them that we cannot even fight the Fulani without unification. I will tell them they can't fight the battle alone. I will tell them if Ndigbo man needs to fight, we have to come together first and fight. I will tell them that there's more gain to unify our force and turn the Igbo nation to be another Dubai. There's more interest, there's more gain to unite our force to make the Igbo nation another Taiwan. That is what Ndi Igbo wants to achieve. And the Hasana will come leading down. We need another Lagos in Ndigbo. I need another Lagos. There's no city in the Igbo nation. Not one city. Even as Sabah. There's no city you can compare in Igbo nation with Asaba. The North have cities. Kanu is there, Kaduna is there. The West have cities. Ibadan is there. Onye European America nata onava Lagos. Open on Lagos on Ibadan na Ilorin. Onye Hausa no UK nata onaka na Sokoto. Onye Igbo nwere Bogana. He's compelled on a toje no na Lagos on a hotel na Abuja. Open a destroy Igbo. The little effort that has been made will be destroyed totally. We start from the scratch. I want to tell them that they will be stupid to think that their enemies want them to succeed. They have enemies in Nigeria. They want to destroy them. And they will be stupid to play to the gallery of that enemy. You are fighting a battle. And you want to play a loose game? You want to destroy yourself? Two wrongs can never make a right. If you do the right in wrong way, it becomes wrong. You collect to Walagodi, Kukubri Obulu Obulagodia. You collect to where boy Vemenia, Nania, even Menia, Nania Menia. I will tell them it's not time for war. War is of the brain. The best way to win is to win without having to choose a single bullet. And you must make sure before you embark on the revolution that the outcome is going to be better than what it was before you embark on that revolution. That's the only way revolution is.
Dr. Paul, thank you so much. And finally, people are watching from China, Igbos all over the world. They are watching this program, and some of them may still watch this program. And some of them, their feeling is that these boys are fighting a just war. If you have all these people in a room, just like we have 178 people now from China, some of them have never gone to Nigeria for some time, but watching on social media, and they believe that these boys should pay, that somebody must pay the price. What is your final message? Remember, you say you want to address the world Igbos, and we've been talking, and now I want you to bring your message in a finality. What is your general message to all these our brothers, both home and abroad, before we call it a day?
Peace was used, adopted in the settlement of the war between Nigeria and Cameroon. What happened? Cameroonians killed 5 Nigerian military men, the gendarmerie. And when the gendarmerie killed the 5 Nigerian military men, Nigeria could have gone to war because Nigeria had all the power, the magnanimity to run over Cameroon, a country of 80 million people. Nigeria did not go to war. When Cameroonian gendarmerie killed 5 Nigerian soldiers, and the Okoye was caught up at the airport, and they asked him, say, you are weak. Is that not weakling? Nigeria with our military magnanimity, Nigeria with our military power, we had 2.5 million combatant trained men, Cameroon 80 million. They killed Nigerian 5 soldiers. Nigeria didn't go to war. Is that weakness? What are the soldiers doing? Do you need the soldiers at all? Okoye laughed and said that peace was adopted and used in the settlement of the crisis between Nigeria and Cameroon. And they asked him why. He said that because war is an ill wind that blows no one any good. When you bring all of them in the room, I will give them the word of Okoye. I'm closing today with these 2 statements. The first statement is that there are 2 philosophies in Nigeria, in the Igbo nation. The philosophy of Zik, the philosophy of Ojukwu. The philosophy of Zik gave us everything we had. We lost incidentally all of them with Ojukwu. They are 2 different philosophies. I will tell the Igbo nation, take the philosophy of Zik because it's the only thing that has worked. It's the only thing that has been productive. It's the only thing that gave the Igbo people whatever they had, from the university to the market and rest of them. I will tell them the second thing, which I've said, I'm saying it in the final. I will say no war, because war is an ill wind that blows no one any good. Thank you. Thank you for listening.
On that note, Dr. Paul, I want to say thank you so much for coming to this program. I will always invite you any day, anytime, because you are full of insight. You know what we need. You're full of words for today. I thank you so much. I appreciate you. And for all of you watching this program, I thank